Stop fucking mocking me. Okay, they can hear us.
Don't touch the chips.
Oh, don't cross the stream, Mangoose. Don't cross the stream. Whatever you do. Ay.
But if you come across this stream, make sure you leave a like.
Oh,
Hey, the segue. I'm proud of you. You know what? I feel like you've been working on that shit. That's a good one.
it always feels like it, but he doesn't. It just pops into his head because
You can see it in my last video on my TikTok. Go check it out. The beautiful Wolverine.
Yeah, that shit was clean. That shit was good. I can't even remember.
Android created for puns.
Oh man, it's got to be good for something, right? Shit.
Yeah. It's definitely an Android, not iOS. Fuck that shit.
Like, he just had to throw an Apple joke in there. Yo, what's up?
Got worms.
What? Oh, the apple's got worms. Never mind. Jesus fucking Christ. All right. Anyway, what's up, guys? Welcome to this week's episode of the Fault Partner panel. Basically, we have this amazing cast here. We're just going to go over Fault related. We do sometimes bleed into other games. We try to keep it as focused on Fault as possible. But before we get into it, let's go ahead and introduce ourselves. Lolita, if you could kick it off, then Goose, then Bearded. Tell them who you are.
Hi everybody, I'm Lolita Nirana. I'm not new at Fault. You guys all know me. I'm a casual non-competitive player. I also stream occasionally. And I just joined the SMS testing team, and I'm here today to, give you a little briefing on what goes on in the testing arena. Pass on.
I see. Welcome. And you're Goose.
What's up, everybody? I'm the Man Goose. You are awesome, and you probably know me from YouTube videos. And I know Lo quite well. I put up with her quite a bit so that I can play with Menace.
I
God.
bro.
Oh God.
You can tell I like Lo because I fuck with her.
Oh my god.
What's going on, everybody? I'm the Bearded Wolverine, your Michigan Wonder, also a Fault Partner. and excited to pick Lo's brain here about the testing and what's going on there. Over to you, Windu.
Bro, I would have said it backwards. I put up with Menace just to play with Lo. Or just to play with Nier. To play with Nier.
With Nier.
Oh, bro. Let's be honest. Out of them two, which one are you like, bro? I'm gonna slap the shit out of him. Watch. I'm gonna say it like.
Oh, if I had to slap the shit out of one of them, it'd be Menace, because Menace does some fucking sus things sometimes.
Bro, Menace does not gang solo.
Oh, believe me, I know he doesn't gang solo. The only time I play solo is when he's jungle. It's like, dude, like, I get you don't like it over here, but come on, man, show me some love. I need
Lo's a bit
here.
more reliable. Lo's a bit more reliable. And you guys have a cool setup too. Like, you guys do that dual stream where it's both of your cameras and both of your gameplay footage. That's
spicy.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, we try to present the game in a different way, maybe something more interactive for the audience.
Yeah, that's super cool. By the way, I'm Windu, also known as WinduTheMace. Welcome everybody again. As I mentioned earlier, this is the Fault Partner panel. I'll be honest with you guys. Not a lot's been going on with Fault specifically. So
You say like there has been stuff going on.
What do you mean? I just said not a lot. What? I literally
Not a lot. That means there's something.
Well, I mean, something's going on with us. We got shit.
I see what you're doing.
We got shit. I don't know. We don't know anything out of Strange Matter this week. Like, we literally have heard zero.
Nothing.
Not even a Gamescom is around the corner. Isn't that this weekend? I think.
24th, I believe. I'll look it up again, but I think
yeah, check it out. But we got a couple things to talk about. Now, we got a couple questions here, and there's certain things that we can and can't ask, of course. But since Lolita is recently into the tester team and we hang out with her and stuff, it's like, hey, let's see if we can pick her brain, So I'm just gonna start off with a super simple question. How do you like it in testing?
How do I like it in testing? I love it. Why? Because I want this game to succeed and I want to be able to see if I can help with little things that I do, any little thing, I'm enjoying being part of the team really. It's somewhat of a challenge, we gotta show up every time on time and everything, but hey, I've been in there for about a month now, maybe a little bit less, but it's been going great for me. So I definitely like it. I've been enjoying myself there, getting to meet new people that I usually only see in random games, and now I'm able to hang out with them, enjoy some games, learn some things about the game, and also just like I said, be helpful.
It's a good attitude to have.
Have you ever done testing with other games, out of curiosity?
Yes, I used to be a Predecessor not too long ago. I dropped that.
Oh, okay. Did you drop that so you could be a fault tester, or did you drop that just...
I dropped it so I can be a fault tester because this is where I want to be.
Oh,
so I can't have both, so I just had to call it from there.
Oh, right on.
All right. I'm not putting you on the spot here. I'm not asking you to react. I'm just pointing this out to the community and to some of the community members who think that this is just a Pred and OverPrime waiting room. Somebody who has been testing would prefer to be testing for Pred, would prefer to be here. That possibly could say something. All right. Speaking to the community there, just something, reading between the tea leaves there, possibly. But community members, make it of your own.
I mean, that's true. Everybody has preference. That's what a lot of people don't realize, man. Like at the end of the day, everybody has preference. And one thing that I noticed too, which, everybody's going to get their hands on all these games eventually, and they're going to get to try them. But the ones that I feel like are the most opinionated are the ones that haven't even gotten a chance to try any of them, or have only tried one or something. You know what I mean?
Or they intentionally just don't try the other ones. Yeah. But too, another thing too, like there's so many differences between the games. Like,
oh yeah,
every game focuses on a different style of play, and if you prefer one style over another, then you're going to prefer one of these games over the other. And just because a large part of the community is outspoken about one game or another doesn't mean that it's necessarily the best, and it's not going to be the one that best suits your play style. And I just don't get the people that don't even try. Like, Fault's free to play right now. It's like, give it a try and see how you like it. I know some people aren't going to have the best experience when they come in brand new, but you can at least mess around with the AI for a little bit and then, play a few games and see if you like it. Because there's a lot to learn with Fault, and a lot of people enjoy that. Like, that's one of the things they enjoy about a game. That's what I liked about MMOs for a long time, was being able to research the best way to do this and the best armor set for this, and come in with that research and have a little bit of a leg up on people that aren't as serious about the game. So I think Fault especially is one of those games that if you're serious about it and you seriously want to do the research and put some work into being better at the game, then you will be better at the game. And that's going to appeal to a lot of people.
All right, Goose, I completely agree with you. But let's bring up what Salsa says here in chat. Their friend refused to try it because they think it's a crypto miner. What are your thoughts and opinions on that?
Oh, yeah, we had a discussion about this. Is leading well away from the topic of testing, but
it is.
We did have quite a discussion about this. People are viewing it as a crypto miner right now because of the Pocket Full of Quarters association. It's not a crypto miner. Not at all. Like, they're associated with Pocket Full of Quarters, but you don't have to use Pocket Full of Quarters in order to play Fault. Like, and Pocket Full of Quarters itself isn't really that heavily crypto focused. Like, they've got all the approvals and everything. You can look up Pocket Full of Quarters if you want to, but and a lot of people refuse to play Fault because they think it's associated with crypto. But then you got to look into the other games. Like, Pred got $22 million from various companies. If you're not going to play Fault because of crypto, then you need to do your research and look into all those companies and see if they have anything to do with crypto. I don't know if they do or not, because I just personally don't give a fuck, and I'll just play whatever.
I mean, bro, you know how many people buy crypto and they don't even know what the fuck crypto is? Like, right? Crypto is probably one of those trends that people are uneducated.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I don't think it's a valid argument either. I don't understand I personally, I've always been the indifferent person. Like I don't have one side or the other. It doesn't bother me. If you are on the side that you can't stand crypto, then I respect that decision. If you're on the side that you're for crypto, then I respect that decision. I don't care either way. I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to not buy it. I haven't made a decision. Like, I don't care. Like I play the game, and when I go in the game, I have the option to connect my pocket full of quarters link or whatever, or link it. I don't have a pocket full of quarters account, so there's nothing that I do. Like I'm not associated with it at all. I don't have so I'm not mining crypto in any way. And if you don't want to do that, you don't have to do that. And not that it's mining crypto in the first place, but you don't have to partake in it. Like it's not, it's completely different.
Not a necessity.
Now
to be able to access and play the game.
I'm actually curious, Lolita. Because you're on the content creation side of it as well as on the testing side. What has your reception been from like newer players trying to check out the game, or trying to teach new players the game, etc.? What's that been like?
It's been definitely a different but fun experience. Why is it a different experience? Because it comes with a good side and a struggling kind of side. I have some new players that I met from different communities asking me, so what are you playing? And again, like for me, my stream comes from back of when I used to play Call of Duty, other games. I recently came to thought, and by recently I mean around end of November, beginning of December. And so come along, friends from different communities to me and ask me, what is this game you're playing? And I explain to them, and we say, hey, let's try playing some games. Okay, so what is the game do? We talk about it, we play. Okay, 5v5, any other game modes, for example. I say, yeah, that's probably in the future works. This is what the game is about. Well, how do we build items? That's been sort of a struggle for me. Like some new players cannot understand how the tree works. You go from your smaller items, and then you mine for gold, and then you purchase more expensive items. That's been some sort of a struggle with new players. Also, what is called like, oh, why did this player tell me this item was a meta, or this card was a meta, or like this character was a meta? And again, that's just the main thing of focus that sometimes a lot of new players struggle with. Like there's a lot of items in the store for you to learn about. If you literally hover over each and every item, it tells you right there what it does. And what's good about it is that I was able to guide some of the newer players to go into PvE and to test, okay, so try putting on this card, try put it on this card, do this build, for example, see what happens, try to counter this hero like this. That's also been beneficial. It's been pretty fun because to me, I honestly have not went and read each and every item. I probably did for most of them. I follow, okay, this is meta, let's follow it. But I've learned to discover new items that I haven't used in a long time, or just because it's not meta for the community. So yeah, that's been my experience with newer players. I'm pretty sure you have your own experience with them too, Windu, and everybody else in here.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you this. I like me and Lolita, so we joined a team for Ed's tournament that's going on. That's this weekend, right?
2
Sunday,
days.
I believe.
Sunday, yeah.
Yeah, that's this weekend. Everybody check it out. It's gonna be streamed on oh my god. What name? Easy at 93?
Yes.
There we go. Easy at 93's Twitch channel. But yeah, so like I told you guys last week that we talked, I was like, hey, I'm only going to join a team if somebody asks me. Shit you not. Within 24 hours, I got asked because I said that shit out loud, right? So I was like, all right, cool. I'll join. No problem. You want me to be there with you? I got no problem. And then Lolita happens to join the same team. And it's like, all right, bet, cool. So it's been cool.
I saw Windu's name. I ran in there.
Right, like it's been actually super... I can't with you, bro. Get him out.
We need the drunk mangoose.
Right? Get him off this copy shit. What is this?
Possible that I'm meaner with him.
Right? Like you're too fucking alert. I'm gonna need you to chill out. I need you to be drinking a beer while complaining about your cat. Okay?
Oh,
but no.
go outside.
He said, "Oh." Anyway, so it's been super interesting to see new players want to develop on the more competitive side. Like, I want to get better. I want to compete. Let's talk about these things, ask things. What do you guys think about this? Like, just seeing that mindset of a newer player trying to develop on the competitive side has been actually super cool. And I can only imagine being on the testing side. But like, for example, on the super early days, both me and Goose used to be in the testing, right? If we want to call it that, because back then it was just kind of like, hey, we're internally helping the team out, right? But we weren't technically like official testers, I guess we could say. I don't know if we could be called that, Goose.
I wouldn't call what we did testing. I'll tell you that.
We're playing the game and giving feedback on it. That's pretty much what we were doing. So, but I do know that the testing environment has changed a lot back from the days. I mean, by all means. We did have like a little list of questions here that we're really just super curious on. If you can't answer them, we totally understand. But we're just gonna try and ask anyway, to be honest with you. So how much influence, or from what you've seen in the last month at least, out of all the testers that are in there, how much influence do you think testers have in the direction that Fault is?
I believe, well, let's talk about what testing is and why it's important in general in any gaming development of a game. So you have a set of developers that put in a game application. They want to make sure that their game, their product that is being delivered to the end user, the customers, us, the gamers, is seamlessly flowing. They want to make sure it is bug-free. They want to make sure it's stable. They want to make sure it's reliable. And that's why the testing process is very essential. There's a lot of flaws in every game that is developed and, is being released, especially when it's in early access, a lot of tweaks that needs to be made, a lot of balances that needs to be made, and testing the game at that period is something very, very crucial because it allows the developer to catch on those factors that hinder the experience of the end user, i.e. the gamer, the player. So that's where testing comes in, the quality control, and in this case and Fault, we are testing multiple different things. People think, oh, it's just a bug. We ran into a wall. We got stuck. Oh, Richter's doing this or Sparrow's doing that. It's not just that. We are testing the map. We're testing the environment of the map. We are testing the elements of the map. For example, the water, the walls, the raptor pit. We are testing every hero ability, perhaps the alt. The interaction between heroes upon a certain cast of an ability, this happened, the effects on the other heroes and on the environment. So there's always a multitude of factors that come into place, and testing is the arena which we all get together, 1v1s, 5v5s, we get together, we are able to test element by element of what's going on. And it doesn't stop here. Going down the line, when today's session is, for example, hey, let's test this bug. There comes to a point where as you're gaming casually throughout the day or throughout the week, you run into a problem, you report it, it's being worked on. So that is where us as the Fault community, we all come into play. We're just constantly testing to make sure that when this game is fully released to the customer at the end, fully released to different platforms, for example, so that it is working. It's not like a broken game, because obviously nobody wants to play a broken game. There's only a certain time where the player will remain in the game and then will go and prefer another gaming product, for example. So that is why testing is such a crucial process.
Do you think there's a good mix of like skill level amongst the testers? Like, like beginner testers, testers, super experienced testers, like some cracked people that are playing and stuff. And how does that go when testing?
Well, I haven't been there long enough, but what I've heard from the past that is probably not ongoing right now is that there used to be the base of the testers in the testing arena was marked between competitive players and casual non-competitive players. And I believe that was changed, and now there's a mixture of, I give my example. For me, I'm a bronze player. I get to play with people who are, for example, like master players, you know, and why is that? Because a master player, for example, is focusing on certain things when he's playing. For me, I'm focusing on a different way of seeing the game. So that kind of diversity in competitiveness, or like high elo, low elo, or, you know, better players versus not as good players as the better ones, that is actually what brings out what is very what's the word here, it brings out the better perspectives, the better versions, you know, of seeing things, you know, of running into things, you know. And yes, I do believe there's a good mixture, and that's a good thing. That's a very positive impact.
Now, so I know you briefly touched on this because you said you left pred testing to become a fault tester, right? Why pursue testing? Because you're already doing like content creation and stuff like that. Like, I know for a fact, if you're testing, you can't stream that shit. You can't record that shit. So that's literally taking time away from content creation. And I know that's one of the biggest issues I had with it back when I tried to help. Fuck, bro. Like, I got 6 hours. You want me to test through 4 of them, but I want to go live. I fucking can't go live if I'm testing. Like, I have to choose either or. You want to go that direction? Cheers.
Well, I'm curious as to why I left pred testing to come to fall testing, or why did I choose to test in general?
Why test in general? Like, just choosing the tester life, because it's not easy.
It's not easy, definitely. Now, the tester life, definitely, it's not like we are going in every single day and dedicating 4 or 5 hours into testing. There's members in the testing arena, you know, and we sometimes we take turns into going in there. And we have certain days and certain time frames. And per se, if today I'm going to be streaming, I know tomorrow I can go into testing. You know, I have that fixed schedule, which is great. You know, having a fixed schedule for me, I also, you know, have work to do also, not just in content creation. I've hindered down a little bit by my streaming temporarily, but the fixation of the schedule is fitting for me. Like, I can do it. I feel I can do it. I play the game regardless. So why not put an hour or 2, you know, every session for probably 3 days a week and try to help out? So that's, to me, that fit me completely. It fit my lifestyle, and I was able to do it.
So I want to rewind over here a little bit, just to what you were saying about having a bug or whatever, and that's getting worked on. For those of you who are streamers or content creators, and, you know, if you see a bug happen, if you're able to get a clip of that, it is so much easier for the testers and the QA team to be able to help replicate. Oh my gosh.
Replicate.
Replicate. Thank you. Oh my gosh, I could not say that word. I need another drink. Replicate that bug, and then able to find out what's causing that issue. Because obviously, when you're on the testing server, you can able to see other things that are happening behind the scenes. So if you're able to do that, get a clip, you can send it to me, and I know Easy Ed's always willing up to take the clips. You know, just send it to us in DMs, and we're able to push that forward to the testing community, and they're able to look at that stuff. That would be huge for us as a community to help get these bugs, the bugs that you hate so much. Oh my gosh, this happened, and it makes you rage while you're streaming, right? Clip it, send it in, and we'll be able to take care of it a lot faster in that way.
I do want to point out real quick. Sorry, Almighty in the chat said that's a bug on live stream. Be mindful that at least anybody that has an NVIDIA graphics card should have GeForce Experience, which comes with literally, what is it? Alt-Z, I believe. And you can literally record a match. You can set it up so it records the last 15 minutes of whatever game you're playing.
Yeah.
Just on a constant loop. And then
it's set to 10 to 2 minutes, but yeah.
But yeah, well, there you go. Like, even if it's 2 minutes for a short clip, and you can literally just have it to the point where, like, yo, some crazy shit happened. Hold on, hit that one keybind, bam, saves it as a separate one. It's man, chill. It's like that sort of shit's available to everybody.
Just don't bind it to your W key.
Bro, you mean the key you don't hit?
Yeah, right. I hit the S key. That's it.
This fucking S key motherfucker. Yeah, yeah. I mean, some people have that luxury, others don't. But if you encounter a bug and you are serious about it, you can just always try and recreate that bug in versus AI. Like, but what I want to know, I want the juicy deets here. Have you found any while you've been testing, Lo? Have you found any like crazy bugs that you can actually talk about, or
What'd you break?
While testing, getting crazy bugs, or while gaming, having crazy bugs?
both?
Technically both, because while you're gaming, you're technically testing too, you know?
I'm more gaming than actually testing, but yeah, I have. I've actually found 2 bugs that were crazy to me. One of them was a steel alting on me as Countess. I go underground, I see the underground side of fault, and then I come back up stuck in the mud.
Oh, he hit the nail on the head then.
He hit the nail.
Pushed you right through the map.
Yeah. And the other one, I was getting altered by Kalari, and then I was set somewhere in the clouds. I think I saw all the towers from above, and they came back. And then that were 2 crazy bugs for me. Unfortunately, I was not able to catch evidence. I wasn't streaming, but I have sent at that time, I didn't know who was the lead tester, Armadillo, responsible with all the testings and everything. So I believe I sent it to Platypus. I was like, hey, this and this and this and this happened. And by the way, this is something I always wanted to say. Right now, just like Bearded had mentioned previously, I want to rewind back to that little topic that he talked about for streamers to clip it and report it. What about, like, if somebody were to ask me, what about non-streamers, casual gamers, everyday gamers?
Well, I mean, it's not for everyone. I not everyone can do it. I'm just saying the streamers have the capability. It literally is right there. I mean, a streamer, if you're streaming, you want to create clips, right? That's the thing. You can create a clip, then you can advertise that anywhere else on your socials, right? So if you're a streamer and you're not making clips, like, I get not having clippable content, that's fine. But if you're a streamer that's I don't want clips at all, then you need to rethink you streaming, and you need to, start making that stuff, because that's what's going to help you grow. All right. But that's what I'm saying. So not everybody can do it. I understand that. Not everybody has OBS downloaded on their computer. Not everyone has the NVIDIA graphics card. So not everyone can do it. But so giving us the information, hey, if that's where you could, all right. So yeah, to answer your question, if you aren't a streamer and you don't have a way of recording it's the best and easiest way to do it. If you don't have that ability, if you're able to send me a DM and put in the description, like, give me a good description. Don't just tell me, hey, altered as Kalari, and I bugged out. Well, I don't know what that means. I don't know what I'm looking for. Right? I need. Hey, I was alting as Kalari with the rogue skin. I was at tier 2 tower on Dawn side. I was heading towards Raptor. Give us the information of what was going on. As much in-depth information as you can. I was in a swarm of minions when I alted or whatever. Like, something. Give us anything you can have, because the more information you give us, the better we have a chance of recreating it just from it's like, give me a book and I'll take your book and I'll make a movie out of it. But I can't, if you give me just a sentence, I can't make a movie out of it. Like, we need more information. So if you aren't a streamer, you don't have the ability, give me as much information as you can, what happened while it happened.
Well, you know what I think
really great for all of this is if we had a replay system.
I was about to say, other, like, gamers are spoiled by these other, well, not all, but some other actual reporting systems, because it allows you to include like a little clip, or be like, yo, like, also submit like the last 30 seconds of footage or some shit like that. Because if they have a replay system, that's something that gets implemented. What I will say though, I mean, I hate to be that guy. Not everybody might do it, but everybody does have the capability. Even somebody gaming on only a motherboard and a CPU, no graphics card, they still got quick time. Feel me? Like, even the most simplest of softwares that come pre-installed in your PC, like, I'm sure there's one in there that can screen capture at the base, the simplest settings. Yeah. It's just more of a willingness.
Capture the entire time they're playing, though. Like, I think, like Beard said, probably the best way you can do it is try to remember absolutely everything that happened and write it down as complete as possible. The other thing too, what I think would be good with the replay system is a lot of times you think it's a bug when it's not. Like, I don't know how many times I'm like, why the fuck is my ability not going off? And then I go back and look, it's like, oh, it's because I didn't have any mana. Like, you know, sometimes you think it's a bug. It's just you being stupid. At least me. For me,
or you got
stupid.
silenced by Greystone. You know,
yeah, exactly.
You don't realize you're in a team fight. Like, what the hell?
Why the fuck am I?
I ulted. Why didn't happen?
Yeah.
Then you look behind you. It's like, oh, okay, that guy.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? So yeah, there's times that happens. I've done those. You know, we have in the partner chat, we have the ability to take a clip and post it to the devs. Hey, look at this. You know, and there's times I thought I was having issues with last hitting minions. You know, turns out I'm just trash, and so it's no big deal. But I posted it because hey, I thought it was an issue. But I mean, it is what it is. No, you saw, but it was one of those things that you're watching, you shoot. It's like, man, what happened? But then like it was Platypus. He slowed it down, and he watched it really slow, and you could see the my minion bullet got there just before my bullet did. But like, you know, in normal speed, it looks like I hit it. Like, why didn't I get that last hit? Like, what's going on? So you slow it down, you can see that stuff. Like, oh, so I learned a trick there. Like, okay, let me look at this. Let me slow it down first before I send it to the devs. But so yeah, stuff like that. You think that it's a bug, but then it ends up not being a bug. But you know, either way, they would rather you submit a bug and not be a bug than you not to submit a bug and it end up being a bug. So the more you submit, the better we have a chance of making this game a better game.
Big raid from Abusa.
Yes, bro. Fucking 41.
Hell yeah.
Bussin'.
I ain't gonna say it.
He's like, I ain't gonna do it. It's okay, bro. Okay, you don't have to. All right. Bro, I will say though, at least I know how it used to be back in the day, and maybe Lolita can share into it. Like when something does get reported, at least it's back then, the testers would all just talk and be like, hey, so this got reported. Has anybody run into that? Has anybody else experienced that in here? Be like, yeah, that shit happened to me. Like, all right, let's try to figure out what the fuck that happened. You know what I mean? So even at least bringing it up, even if it's something super fucking basic, like the great example of Kalari ult not working like a year ago, right? Where you would press the Kalari ult and you would go nowhere, and it's like, fuck is happening, bro? Like people were getting so salty, and it ended up being like, hey man, you gotta have like this one item equipped while wearing this skin, and this one specific rock in the map has to be between the target, and it's just like you just go to do it, and it's like nothing fucking happens. So it literally ended up being a domino effect, but just because people started bringing it up, even without even having it clicked, they were like, okay, bet. So some shit's going down. Let's see if we can get to the bottom of this. And I think the number at the time was like almost like 80 man hours were like what had to be done, just like constantly playing Kalari for 80 hours worth to finally figure out trying different skins every time and everything. And that's why I was asking you, Lolita, because that shit is low-key stressful sometimes. Like legit.
It's what's super annoying though.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Bearded. No,
so
you go.
As I've just recently got into the testing, you know, pool and stuff like that, you know, to help figure out lower end PCs, you know, potatoes here. But before being a tester, like it's stressful as a partner, right? Because like we're sitting here trying to stream this game and try to give it the best light it can, and then you're having these bugs happen, and it's like, dang it, like I don't want, like I hate having this happen on stream and letting the people that maybe not be a part of the game community actually, they're sitting here watching people play. It's like, oh, this looks interesting. Like, oh nope, still too buggy for me. Like you don't want that to happen. So then you see it happen. It's like, all right, so then I'm not a tester, so I can't do what you were talking about, Windu, in that situation of like, all right, guys, let's try to figure this out. I can only submit it and like, hey, here, this happened, guys, and then I can only like ping, like, be that squeaky wheel, like, hey, anybody else know what's going on here? Anybody, can we fix this? And try to get people to get the testers. Like, all right, hey, Bearded's still bitching about this. Can we try to look into it? That's the best I can do in that situation, but. We'll see.
What's super annoying is when somebody's like, oh, that game's fault, that's fucking buggy as shit. It's like, well, what bug did you experience? Oh, I had this happen. Did you report it? Well, no. It's like, well, how the fuck you expect it to get better if you don't fucking put a little bit of your own time in to get it better? Like, people don't. It's still somewhat a beta. I know it's been early access for fucking ever, but yeah, like they're still ironing shit out. It's a small team. They need our help with this. Like, it's a community funded game, and the community has a lot of leeway in how the game's going to improve if they put in a little bit of time and help out a little bit. Like, with Fault more than the other games, the community is going to get out of Fault what they put into Fault. So you can't expect to just not put anything into the game, but get everything out of it that you want.
I mean, that's just people being spoiled from the AAA experience. They want the chicken before the egg scenario. You get what I mean?
Well, they want the eggy chicken is what they want.
Chicken. Fucking can't wait.
That's what the community doesn't get, really. Tester in the testing arena or not, I believe each and every one of us in the community is a tester, because just like you said, if we're playing a game and something happens, like I had a few days ago, I was playing, with a few of my friends, and they're not in the testing sessions, but they told me, hey, look, I got stuck at this wall. So I had this little, key on my keyboard, and it rewinds to a recording of 30 seconds back. I just clicked it, took a screenshot, and DM'd it, like, hey, this happened. It showed everything, like anything that you can pick on. Something like this happened to me. It takes a little DM, right? Perhaps a few seconds to a minute. This happened to me here, and there. So technically we are all testers in the community. And if we're really dedicated, and if we really want this game to succeed, if we want to see this game working bug-free, it really takes a little bit amount of effort, really.
Another thing that they need to do, SMS I'm talking about, I know that they were going through a bunch of false reports or whatever, and that was a big issue, and that's why they took the report button out. But they need to add the report button, the bug button, and again, like, hey, report this bug. Like, that needs to be a thing. Like, yeah, because there's gamers who don't Discord at all, or they don't watch this show, and I can't believe there's actually gamers that don't watch this show. So if you're not watching this show, get on it. But anyways,
bro, I'm so proud of you, bro. My dude throwing plugs in like he's a ShamWow guy. He's literally like, ShamWow, like.
But I mean, there's gamers that don't do all that stuff, right? So, but they do. Obviously, they're playing the game, so that's their way of reporting. And I understand the issues of, all right, hey, well, that's just somebody reporting something it's not false reports, right? You have people who just want to be trolls and do false reports. And I'm sorry for the team that has to go through that. But if we can still fix one bug out of all of that, is it not worth it?
So let me ask you guys a question.
Asked a question. That's a question.
Well, I was gonna ask a question to your question, because the answer might be very similarly related, right? So somebody in the chat earlier said gamers want a game. When they go into a game, they don't go in with the purpose of, hey, I'm going to report bugs to make it better. Like, typically, right, if they have a bug, it ruins their experience, they might leave, etc. Right? So should Strange Matter just be a lot more open about it, like a huge disclaimer when you come in and be like, hey, this game's still in early access, help report bugs, go to the Discord, etc. Because if you play, let's bring up some of the other competitors, you'll literally have a bug report option in the corner, and it'll be a link to the Discord, it'll be a link to a specific Google document, but it'll say, hey, report bugs here, this game is still a game in progress, everything you report helps it. You get me? Like, should they be more obvious like that about it? Or since now we're free to play, there's a lot more people, you think less of that stress should be put on the community, more of that should be put on the testing team, like growing the testing team even further and further and going from there?
I think go ahead.
I think it just shows they care if they put that kind of message out there to everybody that signs up for the free to play game. Just shows that they care about community feedback, and especially shows that they care if they actually fix the stuff that's broken, which they've been pretty good at. I mean, like we've said, a lot of times they take 2 steps forward, 1 step back, but it used to be 1 step forward, 2 steps back. But like, yeah, sometimes when they patch, you get some optimization issues, and then you have to wait another week and they fix those optimization issues. But that shouldn't discourage people from trying to fix what's wrong with the game. and helping out.
Right. I remember back in the day in Paragon, we used to have like a after match report. We used to get this little in the menus when we're done with the game, like your feedback. Did you enjoy the game? Yes or no? And then there's like a little empty box where you could add your own. Oh, I experienced this bug or whatnot. You know, if you guys recall that, yeah, I also think that would be a nice, because it's also optional. Like you can skip it, not even open it, you know, and just go about your other game. Or you can just like, if you saw something and you remember it, just put it in. That simple. It's not like you're going in the mentality of I'm going to play to test a bug. This is what testers are for. This is why testers are dedicated to be at the testing arena at this specific time on this specific day of the week. But for you, you're going in, you're playing, something happened. Oh my God, my ult didn't go, or this happened. I'm done with my game. Oh yeah, I remember this. Let me just report it. It's as simple as is.
Yeah, no, I agree. I do. Windu, yes, I think they should put that disclaimer in there. You know, hey, here's this. You know, like, or put it in the that loading screen when you load into a match, right? You know, it gives you the little play tips down the right.
Yeah, like while the picture is loading, just have it in the corner and be like, hey, this game is still in early access. Yeah. If you find a bug, please report it in the Discord. Some shit like that.
And speaking of bugs and new players, Almighty M15 brought this up earlier. They need to do something about the AI, I think.
Like refine it a little bit.
100%.
Because you get Greystone just get stuck on a wall and they just sit. Like I had to get some Sevarog footage the other day, so I went to AI and played Sevarog. My Murdock and Muriel got stuck in the core, and my Greystone was stuck on the opposite side of the map. So it's like, how the fuck is like a new player that has no idea what's going on? How are they supposed to win that game? You know what I mean? Yeah. Like you're basically playing a fucking 2v5, and the AI don't fuck around. So.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I can't think it would be too difficult to program in there. Like, hey, if this character has not moved for 30 seconds from the spot it's in, automatically make the character click the B key. You get what I'm saying?
I mean, and
but at least resets and tries again.
I've mentioned it, but we've been talking about like we shouldn't be bitching about these bugs without reporting them. I haven't reported that. I've mentioned like the Greystone thing before. That's kind of the first time I ran into the Murdock and Muriel bug, but
I can't with Arma, bro. Arma didn't look at the chat. It's like, hey, listen, I use Greystone to find out where you can stand on, then you shouldn't. Okay. Like, I mean, fair enough.
Yeah,
okay.
I should be a lot more proactive about reporting that kind of stuff, because I have gone in and like specifically into AI to look for bugs and then reported them, but I haven't reported like those kind of bugs, and I really should. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that tomorrow. Put it on my calendar.
Put it in my calendar.
Put it on my calendar.
Not as long as you're drinking coffee. Fuck that, Mangoose.
Oh. Whatever, Esky. That's my new fucking favorite.
What did I do?
No, just anybody I don't like is an S key.
You're just a scoreboard guy. Fuck. Oh man, I will say though, it is nice to see Strange Matters growing their testing team.
Yes.
Well, it's nice to even hear about it, right? Like as somebody that hasn't been involved with testing with Strange Matter for a long while, actually. Let me throw that disclaimer out there. I haven't tested in like over a year, easy. But and even then, like I said, I was streaming all the time. It's like, hey man, I'm sorry. So I was about like that guy. I was the equivalent of tester as that guy that dropped out of school, right? So it is super fucking nice to see Strange Matters growing. It's actually super interesting to see. Just throwing it out there. It is extremely interesting to see somebody choose to be a fault tester over a tester for when you have the variety of options. Now, granted, I know preference goes into that, but even just in general, especially with a lot of the Sigma that sometimes, like fault gets, or a lot of the shit talking that some of these people do towards fault and whatnot, it's kind of nice just see somebody be like, hey man, low key, this is the shit for me. This is the game I want to play. Like that. That's nice to see. That's refreshing.
Yeah.
Yeah, personally, I try to be as unbiased as possible. I don't really try to prefer any one game over the other, but I don't know. I think they all have their own unique properties that can attract players and can keep players playing. It's just going to be how everything handles. We've hit this topic so many times. I'm going to bring it up again. Once Predecessor and OverPrime come out and are playable every day, that's when we're going to really see how these games stack up with each other. Because when it's just a burst weekend, of course, everybody's going to play the new hotness. What we really need to see is how many people stick around and play each game once they're all out and once they're all like free to play and stuff. So
we bring up the examples of games like Among Us all the time. Like that shit was popping. Like if you didn't play Among Us, you weren't shit. Like if you haven't at least played Among Us, you get me? And I guess you could say even Fortnite at one point, right? But it's like certain games just kind of dwindle out. Certain games have the strength to keep going. Like, amen. A lot of people salty about Fortnite, but they just added Dragon Ball Z characters. Bitch, that shit is lit. Throw that out there. Like, bro, like, I don't know why the fuck you can be a Darth Vader character and Kamehameha somebody. But it's just, there's a lot of games out there that have options. There's a lot of games that die out. And I still find it very interesting. And I don't think people realize this. Like, let's say we have 1,000 players playing right now across Steam and Epic. I don't know if that's a real number. I just made that shit up, right? Let's say we got 1,000 players, right? There's still 1,000 players that are choosing to play this game for every fucking game out there. Millions of fucking games. You get me? Like, sure, it might not be the number that a lot of people want, but in the spectrum of shit, that's not half fucking bad. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I have to ask a low question. And while I'm asking a low question, Windu, you got to do a little reset to your mic. You got that little reverb thing going on again.
Oh, shit. Okay.
What's the reverb thing?
Well, it's an actual.
Sounds like reverb.
It's an actual mic situation. That's actually not the person reverb, but the actual mic audio.
Okay. That should be okay.
Reverberation is what it is. It's what it is. But anyways, what character in Paragon do you want to see in full? Like, if you could make the next character, which we know it's Iggy, let's say it's not Iggy, which one would it be?
Oh, bro, I'm judging hardcore. I can't wait.
Shimby.
What?
Right? Like, yo, chill out.
Oh yeah, let's go. You too, Windu.
I mean, I'm a carry main, but Shinbi? Okay, so Shinbi arguably never got the love that she really deserved, because when she got put in there, it was already fucking CC crazy, right? Like, unless you were going up against a Gideon or a Rampage, you never really got to use that a little bit too. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was very underutilized. But I will say, when you saw a nasty Shinbi, you saw a nasty as fuck Shinbi. Like, seeing that bitch is like whiplash you, pull herself to you and shit. Shinbi was an interesting carry, bro.
Stop.
What do you mean?
Wrong character.
You don't like
how much have you had to drink tonight?
Yeah, I'm drinking too much. Yeah, fuck Shinbi. Never mind.
Shimby is the one with the dog.
Yeah. Shinbi's Mangoose his bitch. Never mind. Bro. I'm talking about Yen. Yeah, I'm drunk as hell.
Oh, I love me some Shimby though.
Yeah, no, fuck Shinbi. Never mind. Fuck Shinbi. Fuck Mangoose. Fuck Shinbi.
I would.
You can keep your wolves.
Both.
You can keep your wow.
Fucking no, Shimby was awesome. Shimby's an amazing character. She can be played mid lane and she can be played jungle. You don't have too many characters like that. You got Countess, can gotta be mid lane or jungle, but I don't know. Shimby was like a different sort of thing.
Quang could be jungle.
Hero overview. I said, like, why pick Shimby to do something in 10 seconds that Countess can do it too? But like, I don't know. Shimby had her place. I think she'd be a fun hero to add. And she's very complete in the assets.
Is she really?
I'm not going to make it assets. I don't have.
I see. I saw that bearded. I saw that look.
I'm not making any puns here. My mic isn't making me sound like bearded.
Hold on.
Bearded doesn't like Shimby. Bearded is not a big fan.
It's not that I don't like Shinbi. I'm not.
No,
I
he
just
doesn't like her.
It's.
He likes his girls thicker. That's why he likes Tara.
Jesus.
I mean, if we're going non-carry, Tara would be my next one that I want. Yeah, but I mean, as a carry main, and I've almost got all fucking 4 carries mastered. I mean, I'm waiting for another carry. We need one big time in the game.
Yin, hello.
No.
No,
Fucking
no?
amazing. I would
No,
love to see them add Yin.
What do you want, Revenant?
Away from me. I'm kidding. Yeah, I want Revenant. Revenant is definitely
Okay.
what I want.
Okay.
No,
Hey,
Jesus Christ.
would be a big
SMS,
draw.
listen to me. SMS, listen to me. When you bring Revenant in, do not put his fucking reload as an ability. That
But-
was
I hope they change that.
Supposed to be.
Yeah.
I mean,
No.
I understand the whole premise behind it. It adds a skill gap and etc. It would be cool if they just actually add another ability or do something with his kit, as opposed to just, hey guys, you can reload.
I don't know, man. I think Yin would be a better carry to add
Yes,
because nobody else has her. Nobody else has her. I think Yin would be amazing, and she just has amazing potential. Like her the way she counters CC, having like a mid range carry, I think is really cool. Yin was just an amazing hero, and it would show their capabilities at programming. Like it can't be easy to take a projectile, stop it,
like force
send it
stop that
back
shit
to the
and send
same
it back.
target,
Yeah,
or send it back to her target, but adding all of her attributes to that projectile, like her crit, her fucking lifesteal, all of that shit. It would,
You know what'd
we
be
all know
cool?
that Yin loved her lifesteal. God damn it, that bitch would whiplash through one wave and be at full health.
what if they added Yin and somebody CC heavy like a Fae at the same time? How do you feel about that?
Well, Mangoose would love it.
I don't think
Mangoose
the
would probably.
Fae's really
Mangoose would
CC heavy,
be-
though.
Mangoose would be the
Well, a
dad
slow
from,
ultimate that pulls,
Mangoose would be the dad from South Park in the computer meme or GIF or whatever. That's what Mangoose would be.
Ooh,
It's just like the Yin Whiplash. That's the thing.
yeah.
I don't know. I just think
That's
Yin would be a really
different.
cool addition.
Now, Stunt in the chat says, what about Sereth? Sereth was technically a carry. Sereth had no CC, but she was still an awesome character. Her transformation between light and dark. She would be
What I
cool.
think of Sereth, the time that I was in Paragon, Sereth was not a C. Like at least the games I played, she was not a carry. She
Jungle
was more of
carry.
a solo laner, jungle. Like I didn't
Like Feng
see
Mao
her
right
in
now,
the dual
basically.
lane. Right. That's not. It was. She was not a. I know she was meant to be carried. Well, Greystone was meant to be a carry as well. But that didn't. It's not how it ended up being. To me, that's the way Sereth was going. She was going the route of not being a carry. I'm just not. I've always been a range guy. And I know you said she's mid range with Yin, but I've always been a range guy, and I'm horrible even with range characters being up that close. I just instantly die. So now you make me somebody be a melee character, so that goes like, oh shit, here I'm just gonna die quicker too. Like it. I just feel like I don't have the ability. I'm not. My skill ceiling is not high enough to be able to do everything I need to do that close up on a squishy character.
So would you prefer somebody like Wraith? And if they just do some crazy shit with them?
No, Revenant.
He said no.
Yeah,
Revenant.
he's all on that
That's
Revenant.
it.
That's
I
right.
think Wraith would be
bro.
a great character for them to add. I've been saying that forever, is that they all need Wraith because he's such a versatile character.
Yes,
But that
I
kind of
agree.
depends on his old kit and if his
Right.
old kit translates into a new kit. So
I think I'm worried
gotta see.
about them adding Wraith because I'm worried about them. I'm worried about the kit being completely changed, and it not being Wraith. It's just literally going to be the Wraith skin, and that's what I don't want that to happen. I would rather Wraith have his whole kit and just balance however you need to balance, whether that means high cooldowns or whatever, or maybe adjust one to be the ultimate and the other one being an ability or something. But I like his kit. I know it's a utility kit instead, but I would prefer that.
Yo, Lolita, what type of items do you want in? Now that you've actually been getting into it and shit, what type of items would you actually like? What item do you want? Like, what type of item are you looking for?
I remember actually. I remembered yesterday I was playing Countess against you, and I remember there was a time in Paragon where we had that card and then it disappeared, and it was the card that made you invisible on the character. Do you remember that? I don't recall the name. That
Oh.
was a good item.
We do
I
have
don't
that.
recall the name either.
What is it?
Is it
There's an item that has an active that you press it and
It's not an active. I thought
What
it was a
is the
pat. I
name
thought
of
you had. I thought you had to hold still.
Look that shit up.
Oh, it's still. Oh, that's
Yeah.
just for escape then.
No,
So I mean,
he's
the
talking
card
about
that you can
the
run around with.
camo mod. Camo mod is if you stand perfectly still, you are invisible. But there is a component that builds up to camo mod that you don't necessarily have to upgrade.
Stealth tech.
It's an active.
Saying.
The moment you pop it, you are now invisible for a couple seconds as you walk up into lane, and they never know you're there unless a ward fires. Thank you, chat.
Razor Point.
I'm still going to look it up to
Chicken
show it.
Both jumped up, and Armadillo came in camo mod, then stealth tech.
I don't see people use that often. I never ran into
not.
somebody who was invisible and just showed up, even though it's a pretty neat card.
It's
normally
funny as
used.
hell. It's funny as hell to use on Richter. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah.
What have you
Like-
done with it on Richter?
You just stand in the middle of the lane and go invisible, and then like they think that they're all by their lonesome, and all of a sudden they get hooked out of freaking nowhere.
Or I saw
Hooks already make you shit your pants when you don't see that shit coming.
Especially if it's Mangoose with the Richter.
Yeah, so check it.
Thank you, love.
So check it. Stealth tech gives you 45 physical power, 10 flat physical penetration. So it is kind of, a little bit whack for mages, right? 175 health and 35 movement speed. But the active is you enter Shadow Plane for 3 seconds. Cooldown is a minute and a half. So the item is there. I totally want to see like a mage equivalent of this. You get me? Because if I'm rocking Countess, having to build a physical power item kind of sucks. Just if I want that effect,
Too much stealth can ruin a game, though.
It can.
Yeah.
It was abused.
that's a Kalari.
Take her
but
out.
I mean, Kalari is specifically designed around it. I know I bring up Heroes of the Storm a lot, but I'm going to bring it up again. They had Heroes of the Storm went through a phase where they were just adding random shit into the game, and then they'd pull it out when it didn't work, which was kind of a cool theory. But one of the things they added was anybody like during phases of the game could go into stealth, and it fucking ruined the game because characters not balanced around stealth will whip your ass. It was brought up in chat. Who said that? Somebody said it. Steel plus stealth, Razor Point. Steel plus stealth tech. Like when you see a steel, everybody is aware that the ultimate is available, and you play around it. Like you spread out. If steel is fucking invisible, and you don't think he's there, everybody's grouped up, and you get a huge fucking game-ending ultimate. Like
I've seen. I have a clip.
Could be a bad thing.
I have a clip that a homie of mine posted in Darkly. Actually, you guys know him. I think you guys know him. I know Bearded knows him.
Mangoose definitely knows him.
Yeah,
Dark since the Paragon days. We
bro.
played when.
So Dark
That's how we
posted
get
a
to know
clip.
Dark.
So Dark posted a clip of him literally being Steel, waiting for fucking ever, waiting for the enemy team to finally go to Raptor, and he's just fucking chilling. Just I'm waiting right fucking here, bro. I'm not going nowhere. And then the moment they come in, his team was around the corner just waiting. Ults, they fuck him up, they wipe. And I mean, what potential of plays like that, I think, are actually good for the variety of the game. Like if you know somebody's running stealth tech, just like if you know if there's an enemy Kalari, wouldn't that make you want to build a rad pulse or sentry wards or stuff? Like, you get me? The counterplay option.
Yeah.
As opposed to always being the same builds, always being pretty simple.
As long as it's part of a build, I think it's fine. Like you have to commit something to it. One of the things I didn't like about Paragon was you had purple buff would make anybody go invis. So you had that specific call out, invis enemy or whatever. Like, I don't think that was healthy for the game at all. I think that's why we haven't seen that make a return in any of the Paragon remakes.
Yeah,
is a river buff that makes you go invis.
That shit was
Right.
toxic. You're not wrong. Nobody likes it
Leo
like an
Morpheus.
invisible chimera. Nope.
Leo Morpheus asked in chat, what do we think about a taunt and fear items or mechanics to be added to the game?
Bro, I would love that shit. Like, I would love if they introduced, you talking about Terra, your homegirl. I would love if they introduced Terra and applied some sort of taunt and fear into her. Like, besides, like she used to be super CC, anti-CC back in the day. But imagine beefy ass Terra clicks an ability and now in a cone
Beefy,
similar.
thick.
Hey man, tomato, steak is steak, okay? Anyway, so imagine she's in front of you, and kind of like a greystone cone in front of you. Imagine she gets to the point where she activates it, and now you're immediately walking towards her. Like you were running away, she caught you in the cone. Now you're walking towards her. That would be dope as fuck if they implemented on some hero going forward. The melee heroes, mage heroes, even like League of Legends type characters like Ari that'll literally just charm you. You're in love and you're walking towards the mage that's about to fuck you. Like that, that shit's killer, bro. If you get caught with shit like that in some of these other MOBAs, that's literally, hey, all right, I'm gonna set my mouse down. I'm fucking dead. She fucking caught me. Rip. Like I would love to see that
too.
Yeah, bro.
I would like to see both. I would like to see both taunt and fear.
Now, in items or in kits?
Would fear? Would you want that to be like on a support? Like you just to keep people away from your ADC. Just to kind of push people away, or how would you use fear in somebody's kit?
Well, fear would be good for like a frontliner that's trying to isolate a carry, right? Like a greystone that's going up on a carry. Imagine if he had an item that did fear around him. Now the carry that's facing the team fight turned right the fuck around because you hit the fear. And I was like, fuck, now the carry, at least for a couple shots, is facing the other way.
So that's using it more offensively than defensively. But all right, so as a support, you could use it as defensively in the fact of defending your ADC, keeping everybody to push away. They can't attack your ADC. So,
Fear and charm are very heavily based on position. So you could use it defensively and offensively depending on where you are, right? Like if you're ganking somebody that's right at the edge of your side of the tower, you could literally fear them and force them to walk into your own tower by accident if they're right at the edge. You get me? So there's different ways around it for sure. But I would love.
I think I would rather that be in kits. I wouldn't want that to be a item. I wouldn't want everybody to have that.
Maybe SMS's first original character can have a charm or a fear.
All right. So the bearded Wolverine gets a charm and a fear. All right, got it. Because I am charming.
Hey, hold on.
Be fearful. I get it. I get it.
For those of you that don't know, Bearded actually made his own fucking character with his own little character model and shit. Like this motherfucker had a whole a 2-hour stream, literally just focused on creating this character. The chat was in it like, yo, you should do this, you should do that. Nah, that should be this color. Fuck that, bro. And I'm pretty sure that shit's in his hard drive somewhere. I'll just throw that shit out there.
I think the fear would be better on a Mangoose. Like you let out the squawk. How many people have you seen running?
Yo, this motherfucker said the squawk. I fucking can't, bro.
That would be cool.
Now, we probably can't have, right? I'm gonna try to anyway. If you don't know about this, you let me know. Any update on Richter? Like, is he at least actively they're working on? Can we ask that?
Ugh.
Or we can ask that.
I'm watching chat to see if Arma says anything, and
right, he's like, "Hey, Arma's about to be like, yo, chill out. Shut the fuck up, Windu." Rick's looking good.
There we go.
There we go.
Thank God.
We're like, hey.
Good.
All right, hey, that's good to hear.
Even though it has been fun to watch Pappy take Kalari off lane.
Right.
Hey man, I will say it is good to see Pappy actually do something different. I will say though.
He picked such a polar opposite hero,
bro, right? Going from a super tanky with pulls and CC and shit, I'm gonna mean Kalari, bro. Like yo, when Pappy came by my stream and he's like, yo, Windu, I'm doing pretty decent as Kalari. You'll never guess it, bro. I'm like, oh, what, Pappy? Kalari? All right.
Right.
You think, homie? You think?
So, Mangoose, give me somebody that's not one of your favorites, Shinbi, or
what? No, Shinbi was one of my favorites.
Right? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Let's give me somebody that's not one of your favorites. I'm taking her out of it. Like somebody that's like that we know because we know your favorites, right? Give us an off the wall like one that you want that the community wouldn't even think that Mangoose would want this character in the game.
Well, I don't know because I always think about the ones that I do want. I don't even think about the ones that I don't.
That's why I gave you
don't give
a
fuck
curveball.
I'm sitting here trying to think, who the fuck are we missing? Because I can only get to like 5. Hold on, chat saying Sarah,
than that.
Shinbi, Rongo, Aurora. What the fuck happened to her, bro?
Yeah, but Aurora is one of my favorites. I can't really talk about her. I think Seraph is a good one. I did not play a lot of Seraph. I thought she was cool. I thought she had a cool kit. Like Countess, I thought Countess had a cool kit and she was a cool hero, but I didn't play her at all. I didn't really play Seraph at all. I think she would be a fun addition to this. Aurora, though, that's a spicy pick. I think she would be really fun to add into the game. That ice wall would create so much. It would add so much to the game. But we need some sort of her ultimate was so fucking overpowering before people figured out the purity sensor was a card in Paragon.
A double free shit.
Yeah.
What about you, Lolita? What hero do you actually hate? Like a hero that you don't fucking like?
I'm gonna say it. The community's gonna hate me for this. Wukong.
Oh, yeah, that's just a given.
Hate
I fucking hated Wukong too.
I cannot catch
But
that.
I wasn't asking hate. I was asking somebody that wasn't hate. That's like, let's say mid tier. You have your top tier heroes that you want in the game. Then you have your bottom tier heroes, Wukong, that you don't want in the game. And then you got your mid tier heroes. They're like, okay, these are ones I want, but if I can't get those, this is where I'm at. So we're looking at, so Mangu said Sarah. Windu, think of it while Lolita's saying hers.
I already know mine.
Your mid tier. What is your mid? So I'm giving you time to think about it. All right. What is your mid tier hero? Or go ahead and Google, Paragon heroes, and then look at the list because you would think you can only think of 5 right now. And Lolita, who is your mid tier hero?
Your favorite.
My favorite?
Sarah. Yeah, I don't want
Sarah,
her. I don't like her. I just don't like how she looks. She's feminine but masculine. She hits hard. She runs away. I don't like her. I don't like the way the character looks.
Wait, who?
I don't like her name. She killed me a
Tara.
lot. Tara, yeah. She used to kill me a lot too. I just don't
Bearded's
like
favorite? Interesting.
Bearded's favorite, yeah. Two Michiganders against each other right now.
Hey man, you vouch for Tara like that homie paid your bills or some shit like that, bro.
I enjoyed Tara, man. When she came out, I was playing her. That was the character that got me out of dueling. I was able to play. I was running her with jungle, running her solo, and I actually was able to enjoy the game outside of dueling because I was an ADC main when I played Paragon. So that was a character that I enjoyed to play and not have to, because like especially with her anti-CC, that's like everything else. I wasn't a mobile player. I didn't know what I was doing. So CC was just destroying me. So she was the character that I was able to play and able to counter that in a way. So I really enjoyed her when I wasn't playing as her. So that's why Tara is one of my favorites. Yeah. So I'll give Windu more time, even though he just muted himself, just so he knows.
We're talking about Zinx here. I enjoyed Zinx. I really liked Zinx. I loved her kit.
I don't know how that
was introduced a little underpowered, but I really enjoyed Zinx. People keep saying Rampage. We're not bringing up Rampage because we all like Rampage. We're talking about ones
that was my pick, actually. That was my mid tier because Rampage was somebody that I was never a jungler, so jungler wasn't my thing. So, but that would be somebody that
I would love that.
The little bit that I got to play with him in Pred and OverPrime, I really enjoyed it. I because I wasn't a jungler but I was like enjoying this. So that would be somebody that I would like to get into Fault and go into the jungle and see how I do.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I'm gonna throw Rampage out there because I'm of the very, very small crowd that most of their favorite characters are already in Fault. You know what I mean? My favorite support, Narbash. My favorite carry, Murdock. My favorite solo laner, Feng Mao. My favorite jungler, Chimera. My favorite mid laner, Bellica. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, all of my favorites that I played back in the Paragon days are literally already in the game. So I might be in the few minority, but I will say the one character that I also love to play, but just isn't here, that was kind of like a backup to the backup, like, yeah, you know what, we're just gonna troll around and throw rocks the fuck everywhere, was Rampage. And Bearded and Goose, I mean, more bearded than Goose actually, but during the OverPrime test, you guys saw how much fucking fun I was having, just throwing rocks everywhere, bro. I was like a little kid in a candy store. I was like, bro, watch what I'm gonna do. Yeah, got him, bitch. Like it's. Go ahead, my bad.
I was just gonna say, you know what hero I don't give a flying fuck about, but she's in every single one of these games is Muriel. I didn't play her in Paragon.
She is my least favorite support.
I don't play her in Prep.
Yo, hold up. What?
Two shits about Muriel. I don't care if I'm pissing people off right now. Don't fucking care about Muriel.
Yep. No, I'm the same way.
She's good. I'm not saying she's bad. I'm not saying she's a bad hero. I'm just saying that I have zero desire to play her. Never have. Never.
So when this game first came out, first opened up early access, I was a support main because playing ADC just didn't feel right. It wasn't until 13 that switch at 13 the ADC felt better. Right. So I was a mid main all the way up to patch 13. I was a support main all the way up to patch 13, and she was my lead. I don't like playing as her. I literally don't like her. I will sit there and play Decker and Narbash all day, every day before I even touch a Muriel. Right. The only time that I actually have Muriel games in is because I was playing ARAMs with Cooch's Custom Tuesdays, and it ended up being that I randomly got her and I had to play her. I can't stand Muriel. She's not fun to me.
I mean, the chat seems to be taking it as we're saying she's bad. She's not bad. She's a great support.
Yeah,
she's a great hero. I just don't like playing her. I think the reason I don't like playing her is it's so dependent on your ADC actually using your abilities. Like, I don't know how many times you throw that fucking speed boost shield out there and they walk by it and you're like, God damn it, I gave you that. Like, I set that directly in front of you so you could use it. Or you throw the bubble down and they fucking boost out of it. It's like, no, fucking stay in the bubble and use the shielding to your advantage. Just nobody ever uses it. It's like, God damn it.
One problem I have, being a a shitty player that I am, one problem I have is I sit there and I instantly get out of it because I think it's the other team's bubble. Right. Because either because if they have a Decker or if they have another Muriel, I'm thinking, oh shit, that's I gotta get out of this. And then I'm like, well, fuck. And then by the end of it, I'm like trying to get back into it just to kind of get that shield to to pick back up. And I don't even think that actually works. It might not work that way, but I mentally in my head, like, oh, get back in there, get that shield working again. But that's how I do that because I'm like, oh no, get out. But that's the reason why I do it, but I'm not a master tier player. So they probably recognize that stuff right away and just do what they need to do. But it is what it is. But yeah, no, not saying she's not good. I know she's a good, good player as a good support. Like I can play with somebody that plays as Muriel and like, all right, I know I'm going to do, if they're a good support, I can go, all right, sweet, we got this. But I don't like playing as her.
Have you been faced by a Muriel carry, for example, on the duel?
Oh, plenty of times.
Oh, fuck Terry Twister.
Yeah.
What do you feel about that then?
Terry, bro? Have you guys run into Terry doing carry Muriel? He's absolutely disgusting, bro. Like, it has no rhyme or reason. Should not work ever. But I promise you, it's his best role, his best character, and everything. That shit's actually amazing. Shout out to Terry.
It just depends if you got somebody. I didn't the last time I had it happen to me, I didn't have a team to counter it, and the team I had was it was the situation that SMS needs to fix, and it's you get loaded up. I loaded up, and I had all new guys versus all vets, and it was all the vets, and they were sitting there they were just doing meme builds, So it was I had a Muriel and Bellica duo lane, and it's like, well, shit, here we go, and it just it was. It's not fun, at that time. So, but other than that, like I don't. If it was me and Windu and duo lane together, I wouldn't have an issue with a Muriel carry.
Bro, when's the last time we did Ian did it again?
We haven't done well. Well, that's because you've been doing that. Every time we do game together, we've been trying to play carry together. So,
I got a quick question for Lo. Lo, you said you wanted to add Shinbi in. When you played her in Paragon, did you go tank Shinbi or did you go like ability power Shinbi? How'd you build Shinbi?
Ability power Shinbi.
Ooh,
Oh,
okay.
she hits hard. That baby hits hard. and you're lucky if you can catch her. I loved her for that.
Bro, those
Escape
fucking
is
dashes.
insane.
That shit was
I was
nuts.
a tank Shinbi. I was a tank Shinbi all the way.
Did you do tank Iggy too? Sorry to bring up Iggy, right?
In
Oh,
Legacy
this is-
Paragon, the few times I played Iggy, I played tank offlane Iggy and just Greystone the dog shit out of offlane. It was too fun.
I will say, am I the only one that, and I guess I'll just pose this more as a question, right? And Lolita being the guest, the first one to answer.
Well, when you lead it off with, am I the only one? That is.
Yeah. Hold on. I know. Leave me the fuck alone. Anyway, so do you guys think that Strange Matters being this fucking quiet actually means big news? Or do you think it's more of a, hey, we don't got nothing to say, let's not say anything? There's real talk. I just want to hear personal opinions, not any facts or anything.
I personally think it's because they have some good news. I don't know. That's just what I think. I don't think they're quiet for no reason this time. What do you think?
I don't know. I was always on that bandwagon that when they go on these long quiet streaks, that we get big news is coming. And then the most recent one that we did this with, it wasn't that big. It was kind of a letdown actually when they came out with their dev stream, and it just wasn't as big in news as you thought it would have been. I don't know. I'm now conflicted with what's going on. I literally don't know what's happening. I hope something great is happening because, well, something great needs to be happening because they got Pred and OverPrime on their ass. They're coming out. They're going to be available to play 24/7, just like this is, here soon. So they need to take advantage of this time. So I'm hoping it's something great.
I'm just, it's easy to not see the forest for the trees. And I think they're looking more at the forest instead of the trees. But, and we kind of discussed this a little bit before the show, Bearded. Like the forest is made up of those trees. So if you got a bunch of shit trees, then you're gonna have a shit looking forest. So they need to learn how to make a balance of it. They need to give us good info, but they also need to look at the bigger picture and know that what they're doing now, 6 months from now, it's not going to really matter. Like big picture, like their release doesn't really matter in the face of early access. Like their initial release doesn't really matter in the face of early access. And I think they're looking at it a little too much big picture and forgetting about the smaller picture a little too much. But
could you explain that? What do you mean? What do you specifically mean? Like free to play means nothing when it comes to early access. Like that is the big picture. Could you elaborate?
Well, like early access, like all these people that are coming in for free to play have no idea how poorly that early access went. You know what I mean? So like, that's just not in their minds anymore. That was the biggest fucking topic ever for everybody in the Paragon rebate community when their early access kind of fucking took a shit and everybody was pissed off about it. Like nobody's thinking about that anymore. Like right now, we've got a month without updates, and yeah, it sucks. But like 3 months from now, are we going to give a shit about this month without updates? Probably not. But it is a consistent problem with them with how they release updates. So just because we're not going to give a shit about this month, 3 months from now, doesn't mean that 3 months from now we might not. We might be in the same predicament. Maybe we'll get 2 months where there's a whole bunch of updates, and then we'll have another month of just complete dry downtime. Like,
I look at it this way: a game, a full-fledged game, they're not going to be. There's going to be these dry times, right? It's going to happen, right? But that's a game that's already put out. That's we're just waiting for DLC in a sense, right?
Even fully developed games have those dry spells. Like, don't forget Destiny. Like Destiny was super famous at being that game that it's like, hey man, they ain't gonna drop shit for the next 3 months, but in 3 months they're gonna give us a shit ton of stuff. You feel me?
Right, and that's fine. That's the dry spells. I'm not worried about in the set. I'm not worried about. To me, us not having content for this time is not the biggest deal of it. It's you're. This game is so new and there's so much going on there's so much development going on that they could easily just use some of that small content just to let us know what is happening. A Trello would be perfect for this, just to update a Trello page. Hey, we could literally use that in Gen Chat. Oh my gosh, we could talk for freaking weeks over the updates that just happened in Trello, right? We get nothing. Right now, where it's just straight silence. Radio silence is not what we need at this time when there's a lot going on, all right? But to the community right now, if you look at it, if you look from the last time there was an update to right now, it feels like it's like we're literally in the same spot because nothing's been said, nothing's going on. We don't know what's going on. We just now got told that Richter's looking good. All right, so that means
that's the first indicator we've heard.
Exactly. Since Richter's been pulled, and how long has Richter been pulled for? That's what I'm saying. Like it's been radio silence until just now. We got Richter's looking good, and that's because we asked a question on the partner panel, and there was a dev here. Right. So the people in Discord don't know this right now. Right. That's how it's just communication is what we need. I'm not worried about having a month of no content. I'm worried about having a month of no communication when it's something you can easily communicate. Again, you don't need to give me a play-by-play, but just something like just here you go. Feed the fish once in a while. Hey, there you go. We got some piranhas out here that need to eat. Let's go.
Bro, I will
thoughts on that or no?
Also, I'm kind of gonna go here with what somebody said in the chat, and I believe it was Stunt actually. He mentioned he thinks that SMS is quite literally overthinking all their moves, overthinking strategy, the shit that they say, right? Like even something as small as that, like the whole Richter's looking good. That shit's looking clean. Like, hey, he'll be back in the game soon. That's an awesome indicator. Like, it's good to tell the community that shit. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand why they would stray away from it. You know? Like, I get Strange Matter always wants to have a big impact. Like, they're very big about planning for big things. Like, yo, this next dev stream is gonna be a ton of shit. Like, you guys are gonna be hype about it and stuff, right? But I don't, especially being a community-driven indie game, I think they should just be educating and updating the community as it goes, you know? I don't think they need to be like that big of a hype machine. Just keep us updated and like keeping it real with us and learning that shit's going well. That is hype. That's good.
Right. Exactly. And there's those times that you can hype things up, for whatever reason, any individual event that you can hype things up for, and that's fine. But yeah, it doesn't need to be the next big thing, you can literally just keep us updated and go from there, and just keep that constant communication. That's the biggest thing, I think. If you get the communication down and you not trying to, all right, we can't put this patch out because that's too small. We got to make it a huge patch. So we're just going to wait longer. Would that be cool? Sometimes, sure. But like, just communicate how things are going. Like seriously, I made the mention to it last week. Dapper's, community, they're huge in OverPrime. They literally they will refresh the OverPrime Trello page to see if there's an update, and when there's an update, they screenshot it and then they're just blasting about it. Like, they go all in on that stuff, and this community would do the same thing. And if I'm correct, on that Trello page for OverPrime, there's no dates on there. There's no expected time to finish. It's just, here's what we got finished, here's what we're working on. That's all. It's, I don't know. I get SMSs, they're very weary about dates and time frames or whatever because of how things happen in the beginning, but I'm not asking to put dates on something. Just give us an update of how things are working.
That's the dead horse I was going to beat. Give us a publicly available workflow management tool like Trello. Something, it doesn't have to be Trello, just something like that.
Yeah. Trello is just the main one people use. So yeah, I don't care I don't care if you just give me some Google document. I don't give two shits.
Beautiful to see.
Right.
And I want to address, because I'm getting asked a couple questions here because of what I asked. So Luddy24 says, do you actually think going free to play and the opportunity of capitalizing on the release of free to play was any kind of success at all? I'd say heck no, it's a huge failure. Luddy says. I think we can all in unanimous decision agree that there were missed opportunities, but it's still recoverable. Would that be fair to say, guys?
I think it's recoverable if this Gamescom thing ends up being as big as we hope that it's going to be. If they actually get to partake in the announcements that are streamed, the online event, and then they can like push fault that way and then take advantage, that would be huge. That would be amazing for them. Maybe that's why they're holding on to all these updates. Maybe that's why they're holding on to Iggy, is they want to wait till after Gamescom and then drop all the bombs. So we'll see.
To answer the question, yes, free to play was a success because we were sitting at averaging 150 players a whole week, like that. It wasn't, so our player base has grown. We got new players to see the game. We got new players to play the game. And so our player base is higher. Have they taken advantage of free to play to a complete stance? No, they haven't. And Mangoose, if it is like you said, they're waiting for Gamescom. What I think they should have done, I think they should have held or postponed free to play. If that was their plan, is they were going to do Gamescom, then they should have postponed free to play, then release free to play just before Gamescom. So when they're at Gamescom, they can announce, hey, here's our free game, come play it. And we're just pushing the free to play momentum into the Gamescom momentum and able to keep going. We no longer have that momentum of free to play. There is no more momentum of that.
So let me ask you in the grand spectrum, right? Like looking at it macro, free to play July, what was the day? 14th, 15th, some shit like that. Middle of July, right? Free to play middle of July, Gamescom the third week of August, so a month and a week later. Is that really that bad of a play to wait a month before their next big thing? If there is a big thing, right? Like, under the assumption.
Well, look at, again, there's no, like, we're all sitting here talking in a negative, condensation or negative light about how there's no communication, there's no content, and there's nothing going on. We're not talking about, oh my gosh, free to play has been so great. We got these numbers, blah, blah, blah. We're not continuing this momentum. This momentum is literally going downhill right now. Well, no, it's going uphill because it's really hard to push. Like they're not utilizing it the way they should have. So I don't disagree with you on that one. The fact that, again, missed opportunities. But just giving a couple shout outs here in the chat again. So Leo Morpheus says, free to play was good thing to increase the population. But at the same time, most of the new players will not care or give a chance if it fails. The perception of new players, the game is up and that's what they will evaluate. Long time with no patches sometimes means a dead game. I mean, I can definitely see how, but hold on, since free to play, correct me if I'm wrong, they've done a couple patches, right? Maybe Lolita and Goose can share a little bit of light here. They've done several patches.
They've done a few patches.
So I guess the question is that perception happening because people are expecting major patches? Or maybe they're just expecting things like Iggy to be added to the game? Because I've seen balance patches go through, especially when there are more influx of players and stuff like that.
I think people definitely expected Iggy by now.
You know
I
what?
think people expected Iggy or a hero in general. Ask for a hero every 2 weeks. I hear that quite often. Where's the new hero?
Yeah, like they're like the show almost kind of spoiled from the Paragon days or something like that. Like just frequent heroes. Well, no, I will say though, then again, Strange Matters kind of set that expectation in the past and then set it back with the whole 2 heroes every 2 months during their season pass. And a shout out to Tokami, because, you know, he shared his opinion on here. He says he thinks that means that Strange Matter Studios is tanking. They don't know how to keep the shit from sinking. Why keep quiet for so long if they have something to reveal? Now, we have seen in the past, you remember right before patch 13, guys? We were literally for like a good 2-3 months. We're like, bro, what is happening? We haven't heard shit. Like, what the fuck is happening? Like, we were honestly just confused as hell. And then patch 13 come out. And then in the next 3.5 months, we got FaZe, Crunch, and FenMal. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like, can't really complain that, because we got a couple of heroes back to back to back, like literally within 30 days of each other, basically. So, I mean, they have a record of going quiet and then doing big things. Unfortunately, even though I would prefer a more consistent flow of communication personally, they do have a record of going super quiet. And Bearded has pointed this shit out multiple times in the past. It's like, hey, man, if they haven't said shit for a month, I mean, some good shit must be around the corner.
All right. So I still have my headset on, so I heard what was being said. I need to correct so the people who are saying heroes every 2 weeks, heroes, whatever, that's not a thing at all. That's never been a thing. What they've been trying to give us a patch every 2 weeks. All right. The whole heroes every 2 weeks, that's trying to do things better than what even Paragon did, and that's not successful in the first place. So they're trying to do a patch every 2 weeks, and that doesn't always happen. But they try, and I respect them for that. And then when it comes to, they've had 2 patches since free to play, because we're on 17.2, right? Or 0.17.2. So they've had 2 patches. One of those patches were one of the smallest patches we've ever had. So to really consider that content, it's hard to even say that. Like, it was a really small patch. So, again, it's to me, it's not the content that I'm worried about. It's the communication in between the gaps of content. That's the biggest thing, in my opinion.
And I think, too, the thing that makes the silence right now hurt a little more is because they had that community corner where they said they talked about free to play and everything, and talked about how they're going to start marketing really hard. And we expected more after the free to play because of that sort of community corner. I don't even know what they call them, the little community corner
Dev
that
stream.
they did. The dev stream that they did.
Yeah.
Announced that they were going to be doing so much. And I don't know why the camera keeps switching to Windu's empty chair. But like I'm talking here. That fucking chair out of my face. So yeah, I think that's what hurts a lot, is because they led us to expect more than they've given us over the past month and however long it's been.
Yeah. So 17.1, bug fixes, UI, economy, daily, weekly rewards, and orbs. That was it. That was 17.1. So for you to me even consider that content, that's not content, right? So that's what I'm saying. That's one patch. So we've had 2 patches since free to play. One of those patches right now, at 17.1, is the weakest patch I've seen from SMS. I'm not saying the stuff wasn't needed, right? But when it comes to content, actually having some, that's the thing, is like, and then think about how it looks, right? 17, we're thinking, well, when you go into 17, you think we're getting Iggy, right? You don't get Iggy. All right, hey, next patch, we're getting Iggy, right? No, it's the smallest patch you've ever seen. Here you go, 17.1. So it's even more of a slap in the face. All right, now I'm gonna pull up 17.2 and see what we got. All right, we got heat balance.
Hold on, we have had a patch in the past where it's literally
even these small patch,
one update, like one hero adjustment, and that was it.
At least it's a hero adjustment.
Fair enough.
That was that was not even in-game economy. That was menu economy and a UI fix. That's like, what is that? That's got nothing to do with, and that's not even how I play the game.
Okay, so I'm going to bring up a valid question by Real Easy, and then a funny as fuck question by Foolish. Homie said, use that Ouija board you got to bring a new hero. Lamau. Anyway, Real Easy says in the chat, we have loads of skins and skin concepts, because we have gotten plenty of skin concepts a while ago, right? It's odd that we haven't seen anything yet, and I 100% agree. Because we know they have shit in the reserve, but we don't see it. So then he says on here, if they're gonna drop a patch and a bunch of skins after Gamescom, that would be the time to do it. Because if they're about to get exposure, you want to get skins there to greet the new players. And I will say, I had a community member that actually has been to Gamescom multiple times. He said it's fucking massive. Thousands and thousands of people there. And the way that they set it up, there's these main event booths, and then there's the smaller, like, you know, the indie games, or, you know, magazine companies, or test demos on the side and stuff like that. They're trying to get their name known and stuff like that. He speculated that Fault might be within that category, because apparently it's this huge convention, like absolutely massive, with talking about like constant vendors and everything throughout there. But he thinks that that Strange Matters is more than likely going to be at like kind of like a little, like, you know, relative size, but maybe just a booth in the overall convention. That's kind of like going to MegaCon and being one vendor in there. You get what I'm saying? So it'll be good for exposure nonetheless, even if they are a small booth in there. But
and that's fine. Again, I'm not the content to me is not the issue. It's the communication in between content. That is the biggest issue. And can you do me a favor while we're talking? Can you reset the...
Oh my God, is that shit? What's happening?
It's literally bouncing around to people who aren't even talking. So I don't know if you can change that and then...
No.
Make that...
Trust me, I noticed that shit the moment we started the stream. I have no fucking idea. It's literally while somebody's talking, other people's cameras have been going on. It's set to speaker. I don't know what to tell you, bro. Like, I've been looking at that shit's been driving me crazy from the beginning. Like, literally, like...
Can you change it off of speaker and put it back on? Kind of do like a...
I got you, like a little reset. So to see. Yeah.
I must be thinking loud as fuck.
And please flip me while you're at it. I'm looking to the left. It looks like I'm looking to the right.
Flip you? I don't think I could do that. I think you got to go into your video settings to flip you. I'm gonna be real with you.
Flip her upside down. Make all her money fall out.
This is an interesting question from Des 10 right 3. I'm fucking horrible with names. I'm sorry.
It's Des. Just call him Des.
How would you say it?
Oh no, it's Des. That's all I say.
Okay, all right, Des.
But
anyway,
I think it's Destin or whatever. I think his name's Destin, but it's Des 10 to make the name Destin. So,
yeah. Anyway,
Des.
All right. So Des asks a great question. So if you have experience with other MOBAs, what character would you transfer over that would fit good in Fault?
Bologna.
What?
Lona?
Mm-hmm. Like baloney?
Oh, it's just the fucking beginner Smite solo laner.
Yeah.
Like, hold on, enlighten me. I'm down to go down this rabbit hole real quick, and then we'll go to a little later. Why the fuck Bellona?
She's got a cool kit. She's a stance switcher, and she is kind of like Crunch in that she can encompass anything you need to do. I just think she's I think her kit was really cool, and she's about the only one that I ended up liking in Smite that was completely different from anything we had in Paragon. So yeah, give me fucking Bologna, man.
That's amazing.
Can you spell that for me? Because I literally feel like you guys are saying baloney without the E and saying bologna.
That's what I call it. I call it bologna.
That's basically what it is. I'm gonna be real with you. Like,
Bologna.
I'm gonna be real with you. It's just Bologna.
Okay. I'm just what the fuck is this?
You know what? I'm gonna grab another Smite character. And of course, being a carry main, Apollo. Because Apollo in Smite has an ultimate where he rides a chariot up into the sky, can go above terrain, travel, for a limited time span, but he could actually go over terrain, and then at the end of the timer, or when you activate it, he'll slam his chariot down onto the ground and cause a knockup as a carry. That is his ult. So you can
Kong. Got it.
A carry with an air like being able to go into your knockup and stuff like that.
Runs on the sky and then comes down slamming his staff on the ground. Yeah, I got it. Wukong, that's what you want. Got it. I got you. All good.
No, bro. Fuck it. Yeah, bitch can stay out the game. That's not what I mean. All right, Lolita, what about you? What do you think?
Apollo Kong.
I have not played Smite before, so I cannot. I don't.
Any other
League of Legends?
Any other MOBA? No.
Yeah, League of Legends, Dota.
No, Paragon was my first.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
To keep the Michiganders staying the same, I don't play other MOBAs either. So
there we go.
The other one I could say
that must be an up north water thing,
right? I don't say a water thing. We have Flint. That's a bad actual connotation there. Anyways, so
the water problem.
I'm north of Flint. I don't have those problems. All right, I'm good. The one that I have played, because I did dabble, and I mean dabble in League of Legends. I think I probably had like 6 games. Somebody said in chat, Misfortune. I do like her persona, but other than that, I don't really know what her kit is. I couldn't tell you anything about her except she's a sexy pirate. That's all I know. And I like the pun in her name.
Oh my god!
Yeah, that is great.
I like Leo Morpheus's suggestion of Abathur from Heroes of the Storm. That would be such a fucking wild hero to add.
So explain Abathur, because I don't know Heroes of the Storm. What is that character?
Okay, so Abathur has like a tiny, minuscule health pool. Like 3 hits from anybody will fucking kill Abathur, but he doesn't ever appear on the map. He could burrow to anywhere on the map, but what he does is he puts what people call a hat on people. So he creates like his own little turret on top of people's heads that he can attack from. And that hat also gives them like speed boosts or something like that, depending on the talents that you pick. And he can also place various mines around the map. So he's like a map control hero that hardly ever shows his face on the map. That would just be, it's almost like playing a 4v5 until you get your ultimate. But yeah, he's just a really cool concept for here. Here's the Storm has a lot of really cool concepts. That would be neat to see in something like Vault. I don't know how people would handle it. But yeah, it's pretty crazy.
They wouldn't handle it.
I mean, he works in Heroes of the Storm because you can cover multiple lanes with one hero. You can't really do that in Vault. Abathur can kind of cover a lane by himself, but not really. I don't know.
Yeah.
Neat concept though. Very cool hero concept that you just don't see in any other kind of MOBA.
I guess I did play some MOBAs. Not MOBA. I played a MOBA. I played Genesis.
But it's like you played Genesis quite a bit.
Yep. Genesis had a hero that I liked. I can't remember their name, but they were like a little grub or like a little parasite. And their ultimate was they were able to enter in the body and do damage in the body of a hero. And you'd have to, and if it killed the hero, it had some other benefits or whatever. But there's something you'd have to do to your teammates would have to like attack you or whatever to do damage to it, whatever, something like that, to get the other enemy hero out or something like that. That was a pretty cool one. So I think that something like that would be cool to have in the game.
No, the reason why I said Apollo earlier, I guess this would apply for any hero, right?
Apollo was in Genesis as well, but they didn't have the chariot.
Oh, okay. So just speaking of the chariot in specific, one of the reasons why Muriel, even though Magus is irrelevant to her, right? Like he's just like, hey man, that bitch could die for all I care, right? Like the thing about her is she's one of the best characters. Highlights the verticality that a game like Falk can provide, and a game like all these other competitors provide, right?
How?
Yeah, verticality, like well, what I'm saying is flying up in the air, traveling across the map. It's not a point of view necessarily get to see often out the MOBAs. You know what I'm saying? That's why I mentioned Apollo's chariot, because imagine somebody that gets to go up on the sky, be up there and target while they're up there, and then comes crashing down. Somebody in the chat, Real Easy, mentioned Thor in Smite, very, very similar ultimate. Goes up in the sky, but he's stationary in the sky, just kind of looking around, and it's like, hey man, I'm about to come crashing down on one person within range. Who do I do it? There's a carry in Smite also called like Rama something. He's basically like a Hindu god, but basically what he does is he goes up in the sky again, crazy verticality, and from up there he gets to shoot 3 shots, and every time he shoots a shot, it gets smaller in diameter. But if you hit all 3 of your shots, you're
That's
almost
my problem.
I think we need more verticality, like Greystone has verticality though, or Kalari has verticality, where you can just
interesting, like mobility verticality is what you're.
You can actually use the like Muriel doesn't really use the verticality. You could very well make that a teleport where she just goes straight to them without flying through the sky, and it would do the exact same shit. Like what you're talking about, where you fly up and then target a place, that would be cool. And like somebody mentioned in chat, Sereth, the way she could fly up and then fly and then
target and Rampage both
a location and go. That's the kind of verticality I think we need.
Yeah, I agree. I also think we need verticality of places for non-mobile heroes to be able to get to. More, stairwells or something to, or something or something to jump up on to get a little higher, stuff like that. I think we just need to utilize verticality because that's the one thing that really separates us from Smite, from League, from Dota. Like that, the verticality is the thing that we need to really focus on. So I think we need something like that. So bring in Wukong.
Jesus Christ. Yo, no. Bucket would have a fucking field day with what you just said. But hold on, let's be real. Sereth, Rampage, Wukong. Anybody else have verticality? There, female Fengmao's already in there though. Like I'm talking about like missing from Fault.
Ones that we
or you brought up a great point. Aurora with her ice wall.
With her little ice wall,
if the ice wall was close enough to a wall, it would actually be upward. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the teammates could use it. It's almost like it's an ice wall teleport version or whatever ramp. That they could use. So that's always good as well. Mm-hmm. So having places on the map that you could actually use that would be great.
Neptune brings up a great point. Howie's ult. I gave him some verticality. I know a lot of people that used to use that verticality to escape. I think heroes like that, since we're talking about the subject, that adding more verticality to the game would bring more dynamics to the game. It'll bring more freshness to the game. I guess the question is, why not focus on heroes? Like, why phase the girl that's always grounded, It's
because she's always in trouble.
Jesus, bro, I can't with you. Holy shit.
You can tell Mangoose is sober. He didn't even laugh at that one. It's tough. I like obviously this show, a lot of this is speculation because we only know what we know. But I think it's more of a balance issue, or trying to, if you add a character that's got more verticality in the game, then that character already just becomes a little bit OP in the sense that other people can't really compete with that. So it's almost like you have to get 2 verticality people in the game just to or heroes at the same time, kind of like a season pass. A season pass would be a good time to drop 2 verticality heroes at the same time. That way you can just have, it kind of balances it out.
Wait, I'm sorry. Say that part again. Pass.
A season pass. When you drop the season pass, you dropped 2 heroes at the same time.
Okay.
Right. You got, X and X, right? You got this hero and then this hero, right? I think that you dropping 2 heroes that give you that verticality at the same time would help balance it out. If you drop 1 hero, that's because when you drop a hero, right? You drop a hero and that hero is now going to be in every match that you go up against for the next month and a half at least, right? Because that's the new hot shit. We need to play this character. So if that character has verticality, now it's going to be considered OP to the community because how do we stop this? What do we got to do? Blah, 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 blah. And there might be ways to stop it, but people just don't think about it. And then they see, so now we're nerfing this character because it's just too strong. Kalari and her stealth in that situation, right? Like she's able to literally just teleport to you, one shot you, and you're done. Like, all right, well, now we got to nerf her and we got to bring that down. And there's ways to stop Kalari, but people weren't thinking of that. So now we have, here we are with Kalari in that situation. So to stop that with a verticality hero, you bring in 2 verticality heroes. So now on one team, you could have, you could have somebody counter that verticality with the other verticality.
Yeah, that's actually what somebody just brought up in the chat too. Shout out to Kwame. It's like, imagine they release 2 heroes at a time, but whatever those 2 heroes are, they're direct counters to each other. Like, you get me?
Yeah.
Like, let's say like a carry versus a melee that rushes on the carry. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
or
like
Mango's brought up a
Yin.
great example. Yeah, Rampage and Yin. Like somebody that can counter the rock while the person that throws the rock. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, present that counterplay throughout, just kind of add complexity through the whole game. Because I will say, adding just one character just kind of makes that one character seem a little OP because people aren't used to it. I really do miss when 2 characters got added. Like, again, I think we unanimously agree that some of the best releases in this game was when Grimm and Decker got included. Everything from the marketing leading up to it, the characters being added. It was a big dual lane thing. Quite frankly, half of us are dual lane mains here, but shit like that would be lit. They actually included 2 and just more versatility to it.
Right.
Oh no, I think that's asking a lot. 2 heroes at a time when we can't even get one. But
let me give you perspective, right? Like, let's say at the beginning of the year we got, end of last year, beginning of this year, we got FaZe, Feng Mao, and Crunch, right? I would have been A-okay if they waited 1 month, brought FaZe and Feng Mao together. You get what I'm saying? Just like kind of present more versatility to it instead of people complaining for 1 month that FaZe is broken and then complaining for the next month that Feng Mao is broken. Just kind of have 2 brand new heroes that are counter opposites. One's a diver, one pulls people out of risky situations.
Right.
I think that shit would have been lit.
Go ahead, Lo.
Yeah, go ahead, Lily.
So here's the thing: they're gonna complain anyways when you wait all this long to release 2 at a time. We're here complaining, where's our next one character, versus waiting a longer time just so this character release isn't per se OP because people can't build a counter to it or counter it, and then we think he's broken and he needs a nerf. Like, why do you see it as we have to bring the counter to that hero just to not get a nerf, and people have to complain about a nerf? If a character needs a nerf, if he's too OP because he's a new character and he has different things in his game, there's always a way, there's always an item, there's always different characters to counter him, just like countering FaZe by enemy Muriel.
So you bring up a fair point, right? And I would counter your argument by saying that's a fair point after a certain skill level. Spends a lot of time around very new people, inexperienced, just trying to, like, they don't even know how the shop works fully, half the time, right? At that point, it's very easy for a new player to say, well, that character's broken. That character, he's too fucking strong. I fucking hate this game. You know what I'm saying? But if at the same time, again, we're talking about negligible difference, like a month apart from each other in the example that I'm using. Like, even if it's waiting a month and releasing 2 heroes together, being able to say, be like, hey man, there's ways to counter that hero. The other one that they released is a great example. You feel me?
I feel you, yeah.
Like, if it were like a yin and yang scenario, be like, hey, like, there might be other items that count. There might be other characters that counter. But it's one of those things that if they just release the characters with the yin and the yang, it's going to be very hard for individuals to be like, he's just broken. There is no counter. You know how many times I heard that about the bear throughout the years? Like, you just can't bear. The bear's big. You get me? Like, you can't counter Feng Mao. He's too fucking strong. But if they were to kind of partner up the release dates of those heroes to do the yin and yang scenario, honestly, don't think it would be that advantageous to them.
Well,
It's not a
like I said,
disadvantage, but I mean, I'm sorry, Beard. It's not a
You're good.
disadvantage per se. It's that you have a shop full of items. You know, if you hover over and you read what each and every item does, you don't have to per se complain that, oh, he's too broken because I can't counter him. You know, go on, Bearded. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. The whole argument of what Mangu's saying that's too much to ask for in the situation. I'm not saying these in between times, right? This is we're releasing heroes in between seasons. This is what we did for the season, right? Season 0, it was here you go, here's 2 heroes. Here you go, here's your next 2, or like that hero. Maybe it was a month apart or whatever those, you know. But I know like what was Decker and Grim were released together, right? A support and a carry. Here you go. These are released together.
And then Morgus and Richter were released a month apart, but those were still very, very good additions to the game, counters, etc.
So I mean, it's possible they've had it. You know, it's. I'm not saying it's going to be something they need to do all the time, but it's just benefits, you know, for them in that situation. That'll give that, you know, the whole this whole episode being about testing mainly. That'll give the testers a little bit of time to be like, all right, we got 2 heroes that counter each other. We can, you know, it's not going to be straight up OP, you know, for just one hero that we're going to now nerf and then bring another person in nerf, you know, like it's just more to look into. I don't know. It's just an idea, something to help bring up that maybe help smooth out the process of how things go.
So you said they released 2 characters together in the past. What changed? What changed?
Well, that was their that was the season 0 pass and their deadlines that they had to, like, hey, we have these many heroes we need to get out in this season 0 pass. Like, in the way they announced it is like we're going to get 2 heroes like every 2 months or something like that you're supposed to get. And they released Grim and Decker at the same time, and then it was like, you know, and then they went on from there and, you know, gave your heroes. And they were having issues with, you know, completing that, you know, and understandably so. Early access, small dev team, you know, things happen, things come up, balance issues, actual bugs in the game that they had to turn focus on instead of actually working on, you know, getting heroes balanced and stuff like that. So a bunch of things going on that happened to cause those issues, but that's so they kind of that was season 0. My assumption is that season 1 is going to start with full release. So when full release comes out, that's when we're going to see a season 1 pass, and that's when you're going to start having another group of heroes be ready.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to sort of side with Cordy in chat. Shout out to Rick Cordy, by the way. I don't know why he changed his name, but much love. Yeah, that's Rick Cordy. That's Rick Cordy. He changed his name. I don't know why. But I'm going to side with him because I think from the outside looking in, there's a big image of not enough content. And I think that maybe I don't know if it's a realistic expectation or unrealistic expectation, but as of free to play, there's almost this expectation of, hey man, they got to be giving us something. Like some content. I've seen people asking for content. Like, it's like, hey man, like we brought up a great example at the beginning of this week. It's like, it's literally been a week since we last talked and did this episode. What's new? You get me? Like no wars, no avatars.
What's about the two?
Yeah, with you, bro. I fucking can't with both of you. Get me the fuck out.
Old.
Facts. Anyway, no, I'm kidding. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But no, like there's this big expectation of free to play is here, so I'm gonna treat you like a more established game. There is that big, like, people are like, hey, this is free to play. They gotta get the content going. I hear that a lot, and even we've to a certain extent said something like that. It's like, hey, free to play is here. Where are my skins? Where are my wards? Where are my avatars?
Where are my Iggy?
Iggy. Yeah, legit. And it's just like, I totally get it. But if it wasn't free to play, if they just did the other updates, would we be as demanding?
No, I still going back to what I said earlier. I think they set us up with that dev stream where they told us to expect big things with free to play, and then we ain't got shit.
And big things probably still are to come.
They could be, very well could be. We're pissed off right now.
SMS is really good with that hype up soon TM. Like, get hyped. It's coming soon TM. Like, the SMS is that nagging wife that rushes you, so you hurry up and wait. And then you hurry up. You're now, all right. Well, now I'm ready. You said we had to get ready, but now you're still doing your makeup, and now here I am waiting. Like,
bro, you just described Jessica, bro.
So I mean, but that's what that is. I mean, like, that's where we're at. Like, oh, all right, you told me to be here. I'm here. Well, okay, yeah, but it's not happening yet.
Worth mentioning.
That's what it is.
And I'm sorry, I just want to throw this in there because Armadillo just wrote something in the chat. So as Steris mentioned, maybe they're having internal conflicts or something, because we know they have the talent. They just need to keep it together. Armadillo replied saying, there's no internal stuff, no internal problems. So again, I'm personally of the majority that I really do feel like the silence is intentional. I don't know the why. That part kind of bothers me. We roll with y'all. We roll with everybody. I wish I knew the why. I wish I could educate people as to the why, right? But I really do think the silence is intentional. I knew
the why too, because I don't think the why. I can't think of a good enough reason for the why. When you give me the why, I'm like, okay, that makes sense. I can't think of a reason that I'd be like, that's what it was. Okay,
I can only think of one. I can only speculate specifically, right? I can only speculate of one reason as to the why they've taken the pace that they have, and I can't confirm it, right? Just throwing that shit out there before people clip this shit and start sharing it to 30 million places. But whenever I personally have seen a company slow down their pace of content, slow down their flow, or quite frankly, just stop completely, at least from personal belief, I've seen it in the past where a company might be like, hey, so we have 12 things that we could give them right now. Well, we need to spread that shit out, because if we do one thing per week, that's only 3 months. I'm not sure as a business owner that I can replenish the next 3 months in time. So that might mean I might have to spread shit out. And we know Strange Matter specifically likes to do bigger packages whenever they give us shit. So I could totally see them doing like, hey man, free-to-play release was in July. I could totally see them waiting till some shit like September, and now let's give them something bigger. Let's throw 5 or 6 things at them. And now we're going to wait until November, and now we're going to do this. I'm not saying I agree with the strategy, but I'm saying based off of the fact that we know that they like to hold things back. We know that they like to give us bigger patches as opposed to a bunch of smaller ones. On top of the fact that we're seeing a, dare I say, drought of content, because I know that seems very dramatic, but not much has been added to the game. It's just been a lot of adjustments besides monetization, right? So whenever we look at things like that, it's like, hey, if they haven't added new skins, if they haven't added new characters, if they hadn't added new wards, new avatars, that must mean they're about to give us something, because we know they got shit in the bag. And then at that point, it's like, well, how much are they going to give us when they do give some shit? And then from there, boy, how long is it going to be till the next one? Because that's the issue I have.
I don't see how that by any means is the best move for them. Even if that's the situation they're in,
speculating.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
I agree with you.
it's all speculation. I get that. But if that's the situation they're in, then in my opinion, they're fucked anyways, because they got two companies that are coming up here charging on their ass and getting ready to push, and they got money to back them. They have a bigger community, that's ready to roll, and that SMS needs to sell and try to get some of that community over here and get some of the other community that doesn't even exist, that we don't even know about yet, into this. And if that's the way they're going, that's not a good look in my opinion. So I really hope that's not the situation, but I don't know.
Yeah, and that's the thing. All we can do is speculate. Like, so just to ask Lolita real quick. Lolita, as somebody that's been taking an invested interest into the company of Strange Matters. Now, how do I word this? So, from your personal opinion, not even relating anything testers wise, not asking you to tease anything or whatever. From your personal opinion, why do you think Strange Matters has been so quiet with content in the last month?
I personally believe, now I don't know a lot of information, like internal information. Again, I'm just a tester, but I believe, that's my personal opinion, that when people look, and we hear this a lot all the time, Predecessor is doing this, they're OverPrime, like if we see, they're throwing stuff at us constantly, teasing us with characters, saying this character is, launching, he's ready, he's set to play. We always got to remember, like, this is to everybody, and this is my personal view, that OverPrime or Predecessor, they are big companies. They have the numbers that work on the project, on the development of the game, on the game application. Strange Matters Studios is not as big of a company. And there's a funny fact here. Actually, it's a good fact. I was not around when this game was first launched and available to play. Menace, for example, was showing me some clips of the old version of the scratch version of Fault when it was when you guys were testing, and I was like, wow. He's like, yeah, wait till you see this shit. This is how we played it. I'm like, oh my god.
You remember that?
Like oh, I'm looking at it like, as a new player here, right? I'm looking and I'm seeing all these things, and I'm hearing different things from the community. I played Predecessor a lot. I played it a lot during testing area. And I'm looking, well, this is what it was, and this is what it is today. Oh my God, there's such a huge difference for me as a new incomer, that people who have been along the trip, if of the 2 years almost, do not see. But for me to see the older version and the newer version, wow. To me, when I'm looking at the map and how beautiful, and the graphics and the seamless flow of the map is something, to me personally, I did not see in any of the other two games, right? As Monolith itself, not as, for example, Agalith and Overprime, or like what maybe Predecessor looks now, trying to look like Fault, for example. And again, this is just my personal opinion, but I believe that they're not hindering. To me, they have a lot working on. I don't think that they are enough staffed, maybe. That's how I see it. They're probably not enough staff to do all the work. And I say, I'm against, all these opinions. To me, my personal opinion is that I give them kudos for what they have given us so far. I remember when people would be waiting on patches like, we need optimizations. Give us optimizations. They give them optimizations. And then the next patch, no, give us a hero. They give us a hero. Well, what about the optimizations? There's always going to be a high expectation from the community, and you ask them why, is because, well, it's been it's been going on it's been in beta for 2 years. Yes, but you do have to realize that this company is a smaller size company. We give you this, you want that. We give you that, you want this. Expectation of a hero every 2 or 3 weeks. That's not going to happen. People say, well, why don't you give us this character? I personally think it's some characters are easier to code than others, and some are harder. And again, that's just how I see it. There's this always that high expectation, like, okay, we gotta rush, we gotta rush, we gotta rush. Who knows? Maybe Pred comes out, OverPrime comes out as the two other, competitors in this Fair Zombies arena, and well, of course, everybody's gonna see a lot of bugs. Of course, they're gonna remove characters, work on them, push them back out. This is just a process in any game, and this is why I believe what's hindering Strange Matter Studios. They're taking their time to, when this game is fully released, it is as playable as possible. It is able to retain the player base that it's gonna bring out. That's really all I could say, and I wish the community can see some of that. Hey, and at least end of the day, hey, at least it's playable. We can play it, right? Like imagine they take this game away from us for a week. What do we do?
But that's the problem with
real
this
quick
right
while
now.
we talk. I'm gonna show Vault. The first week I ever played it, Mangoose remembers this shit. This was like October 2019. Like 7 months before early access. I'm going to show that on the screen while we keep talking. Go ahead, Bearded.
So that's the problem we have right now. People are literally in Gen Chat talking about how this game is literally just a waiting room for Pred and OverPrime. Like literally the only reason they're playing this game right now is because Pred and OverPrime aren't playable, right? So if we take a poll of how many people that is, and we're sitting at our average of whatever our number is, our average, our X number, right? And X number, then you take Y number of the average of people who's gonna leave us because Pred's now playable. What do we have for a player base then? How are we actually? What's our queue times then? Because now we're gonna lose people because our queue times are too long because we don't have that much of a player base, right? Because everybody left and went and played Pred. Now I know Pred's gonna have issues. I know OverPrime's gonna have issues. These games are also gonna be early access as well. They're also gonna have bugs. But we've already dealt with 2 years of bugs with this game too. So dealing with bugs is not gonna be that big of a deal. But dealing with a company that's able to put out content at a faster pace because they are a bigger team, why would you not want that? So that's my point of why Strange Matter actually needs to, yes, they are a smaller team, but they need to take advantage of the time that they do have right now because they are playable. They are the game that everybody's playing. They need to take advantage of that and keep things going and keep moving forward and not sitting there with, you got the hype for free to play. All right, we got the car moving. All right. But now that car is stalled again. And now we got to get this car moving again with whatever hype we had. Instead, you could have kept that car moving, kept that momentum going and kept, release Iggy. Here's Iggy. Okay, bam. The car is moving. All right. Hey, we know you guys miss Richter. Richter's gone. Because Richter's gone, here's Iggy. Let's give you Iggy for the time being until we can fix Richter because we're still trying to figure out what's going on with him. Whatever. Something. Just to kind of keep things going, keep that momentum going, keep things pushing forward. What is that? It's the Rocky, hype up, thing. He's talking to his son. This world's gonna beat you to your knees, if you let it. But you gotta. It's not what stuff that hits that they keep you down. It's the ones that you keep moving forward, right?
That's a great
and that's the
quote,
thing
man.
is, right?
Like shout out to you. That's a great fucking quote.
So Strange Man, it's like literally they're getting hit and they're just stop. They're like literally letting the hit stop them instead of keeping the momentum going. Keep moving forward. They're not moving forward right now. At least to our eyes in the lack of communication. This is literally, hey, Richter's gone. You took something from us and we still don't have Iggy, which we thought we'd have Iggy by now, but we haven't. You got to keep moving. You're a small team. You got to keep moving forward. All right. A football player, you got a small running back. Guess what? You got to keep those feet moving. If you don't keep those feet moving, you're getting tackled, right? You got to keep moving. You can't just let it stop. You got to keep going. You got to use the momentum. When you have momentum, you have people blocking for you and they're pushing forward. You got to use that momentum. You can't just stop. Sorry, I'm getting a little too hyped about this. I'm passionate.
You're chilling, bro. You're chilling.
You're passionate.
I want this company to succeed. I love this game, but I feel like they do this hype. And then we're going to stop. Hype, and we're going to stop. Way too often. Use the hype. Generate the momentum. Keep going with it.
Wow, yeah, this is
So-
what the game looked like.
So, yeah, this is OG days. This is
I
back
actually
when
have older footage that's even older than that.
from like, do you have footage from the time where they actually let you play and shit before it was even
Yes.
announced?
Yeah, like the month they announced is like a week after they let me play the game, like and record footage. It was wild. A big shout out to them for that. Even going back, because back then that was, we were tracking core and predecessor and a little bit of overthrow, but like every time, like you would talk to these guys and you would get updates from them, and then all of a sudden fault comes out of nowhere. And I'm like, I just wanted to verify that they were a real thing, because we had just had that Avantel disaster where it was just a fake
Mhm.
Paragon remake. And
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
forgot all about that.
then I'm talking to
Like in the
Oh,
one
man.
lane map, right?
I'm like,
Wasn't that the one?
I'd like to ask you guys some questions and make sure that you guys know what you're doing and that it's a real game. And he's like, yeah, you want to play it? Like the first fucking week that they announced themselves, I was like, do you want to play it? I'm like, hell yeah, I want to play it. And they actually let me run around and, play on the map a little bit. It was pretty fucking cool. It didn't look that much different than the footage you're seeing right now. I like it. It was a little bit worse than this, but not by much.
Oh,
Yeah,
I've
this
seen
is-
footage where there was a skull when two characters killed each other, and there were no
Yep.
color to the items.
Yeah.
It was just a name on a flat, what looked like a piece of
Yeah.
paper.
Yep, that's what I got.
Bro, I gotta say, like, we could sit here and nitpick all day, right? But not every game out there will actually be willing to show you and have you be part of the process all the way from the beginning. So by all means, I gotta give them credit, because even allowing people to stream, to create content, to make videos of this stage back then, this is, at this point, guys, this is almost 3 years ago from where this was at specifically, right? A lot has changed, balance wise, even polish. Like right there, there's literally a skull with two random daggers across the skull, and then Two-Face, like Gideon looking like he got a mugshot in this bitch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I gotta give him props for being so, allowing themselves to be so vulnerable. Yeah, so open. I borderline wish they kind of were that open again, to be honest with you. Because I personally feel like they generated the most hype, the most love, the most community support when they were that transparent. It's like, hey man, we got a work in progress, but if you help us, we're gonna make it there. You feel me? Like that stage of Strange Matter was, I think, probably one of my favorite stages. I love the community support, the Indiegogo stages, etc. Right? Whenever early access started, I really do feel like I felt a shift amongst how the company acted. And we even heard it in their last dev stream. And even like, for example, Ryan Red being here on a partner panel a couple weeks ago. Like, we heard it to the fact that it's like, hey, well, you know what? Like, whenever early access started, whenever things started getting rolling, they almost got caught in that realm of, hey, we need to behave like a third party company. And they admitted that they wanted to get back to the roots, back to the, hey, they're still an indie dev company. Like, if people found out the exact amount of staff that are making this game running, I promise you they'd be like, damn, bro, you know what? That many people? This ain't that fucking bad. I'll be honest with you. Like, if I got me and 15 other homies, we can't do this shit. Straight the fuck up. Like, I would really love for them to go back to Indiegogo stage as far as communicating, keeping people in the loop. Like, I know they got competitors, but it's like, hey man, if you literally come out, and it's 2022, right? If you literally come out and say, hey guys, we're gonna implement this new idea, let us know what you think. That shit might be whack, it might be awesome, but you still said it publicly, right? If another game copies you, unfortunate, but you're still the first one that said it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think these companies in general, like, they need to be paying attention to the other games, but I don't think they should be making choices with what feels like it's fear for the other games or preemptive to the other games. Like, hey man, we don't want to say too much too early because we know we got competitors and stuff. And I get the whole business shebang, but I would much rather them say it first and be like, hey man, we're planning on doing this. What do you guys think? Straight up. Bird Chicken said, fire the cameraman. Yeah, I have no idea why he keeps on switching to fucking Bearded's empty ass camera
chair.
with the chair, bro. What the fuck is that? Oh my god.
I'm gonna have to go here pretty soon, man. We're getting
Like
11:30.
Yeah, we're already towards the extent of this. We're at 2:26. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and start wrapping up. I know Bearded has his headphones, so he can hear me. We'll give him a little bit of time. But so Lolita, if you could give just your 2 cents to the community, like a little piece of advice, what would you say? And then afterwards, throw your plugs where they can find you.
To the community as a whole, I say be patient. We are hopefully don't give up on SMS. Don't give up on the game just because you've been around for 2 or so years. Don't give up on trying. Don't give up on voicing an opinion, perhaps to the partners. Don't give up on, the game itself. Don't give up on reporting your bugs. Like I said, if you counter that for me as a tester, if I counter that, please report it. Don't feel like I am playing to report a bug. I'm playing because I'm playing, and if I do see a bug, I will report it. It doesn't take a lot out of your time. As for on the other base, I forgot what I was gonna say. I'm a little bit laggy, but again, what I was gonna say is that in the testing arena, I know we have was part of the questions that we never really got to tackle, but in the testing arena where we have 50 or 60 players, this is for the testers also, like the other side of the community as well. Attendance is very important, and that dedication that you guys have, and you guys say, hey, what's going on with the game? Hey, we need more updates. Hey, we need this bug fixed. Pay attention to attendance. Pay attention to being dedicated to truly be part of the team if you want this game to succeed, because end of the day, there's mostly one person behind the scenes doing all the work, right? There's one person behind the scene doing all of this, fixing everything you guys are reporting, and is trying to constantly keep up. I say, let's keep the hype up for the game. For me personally, I've tried in the past, just like you just said, Windu, at the end, like, what about suggestions? What about, hey, be transparent with us and see what you think. It's a double-edged sword there. But for me, like, I've tried to put in like little fun polls for the community. Sometimes I post them in Discord, and sometimes I used to do it on my streams. What do you think of this? What do you think of that? Just something like a little project where I believe if SMS were to encourage this, or as partners would encourage this, I think mostly what the community wants right now is to feel that they're being heard. That sense of communication is what really everybody's looking for you as partners, for us as the gamers of the community. I think that's some neat, nice projects or ideas that could be accomplished there too as well.
True. And by the way, Miss Near, I appreciate you joining us. Thank you. Welcome. And you're more than welcome to join us anytime down the road.
Thank you for the invitation. I am sorry I had internet issues. I was listening to you guys most of the time through the stream, so I had a really bad time catching up. Yes, that's why I was like, I'm trying to figure out what they're talking about here. Which is where?
Bro, you should have just said some shit. Like, even if that shit was 3 minutes late, just be cut it. Hey man, I'm not gonna be mad if you cut Mangoose the fuck off. I'm gonna be real with you. Yeah. Like in the middle of a sentence, it'd be like, "Hey, so about that one thing."
Well, he said he has to deal with me to play with Menace. What am I gonna say to
that? I mean, but even if that happens again, if we do have you back on, which again you are more than welcome to come back on. If that does happen again, just like, say, hey, like I did, you guys were having a good conversation, going back with the questions of testers, whatever. But I reference back, hey, let's bring this back real quick because do the same thing, and always, if you still have points to put across there, and then people in chat won't think that you're looking bored because you actually were just trying to catch up. Is all you were trying to do. So,
but yeah, we really do appreciate you. And Goose,
Thank you.
My closing comments. This is a community-driven game. As a community, you're going to get out of fault what you put into fault, but a message to SMS, you're going to get out of the community what you put into the community. So it works both ways, man. Keep that in mind. Over to you, Bearded.
You're preaching,
Man,
bro.
how do you make that sound? Oh my god.
Yo, Goose, my dude, my dude out here preaching, like, yo, like, hey.
So, my 2 cents is communication. Do
you have
3
a fourth one?
words.
I think it starts with a C.
Jesus
Communication.
Christ,
Oh, I thought you were going to say C-lit.
Oh, yeah. Don't forget to check out the TikTok. We're getting going on that again. You got to get the A-lit, the B-lit, and the C-lit TikTok on there. All right. Also, I posted a new one. Also pretty funny on there. Goose choking, actually. Go check Goose choking on TikTok. Bearded Wolverine.
Well, what a highlight. All right, but I will say, man, just kind of looking back, and it's kind of crazy when we look at this footage of like super old gameplay, right? I'll give Strange Matters all the merit to do because it's so easy to sit here as third, outside looking in, playing, make assumptions and stuff because we've been very clear that a lot of the shit that we've said is speculation, right?
Yes.
But at the end of the day, I still got to give them props. Like, you get me? For a small team to do this shit, I literally get to play every single fucking day, and I have a blast with my community. I have a blast streaming. Every once in a while, I take carry from Bearded. I have a blast, right? So it's one of those things that at the end of the day, they really have done a great job. They have come a long way. But I don't want them to either put themselves on too high of a pedestal that affects the community, but I also don't want them to let them slacken because they think that they've done quite a bit, Like, I think us as a community have to hold Strange Matters responsible to the point where we keep them in check. We don't let them fall behind, but we remind them, it's like, hey, you're not that fucking far ahead. Like, you still are an indie game. You still are a community-driven game. We need to remind you of that. So I think us as community members need to actively speak out loud. And I think as Strange Matters, it's one of those things that you guys are doing a great fucking job. And if you guys honestly take your steps very carefully and keep striding forward, you have a bright future in front of you as a company. But it really is one of those things that don't lose sight of where you are because of where you're focused on going. Don't lose sight of where you came from because of where you're focused on. But without getting too preacher into it, because Mango summed that shit up in 3 sentences. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Did you want to say something, Bearded?
I do. I wanted to give Nirana a chance to shout out her socials and everything else, and then we'll also put those in the chat down, or in the description down below on the YouTube.
Thank you. My stream name is Nirana, as you know, as I've typed there in the chat. And follow me again on Twitter, Lolita_00. Same for my Instagram, Lolita_00. Thank you. Thank you guys for having me today. I know it was a brief subject that I was in here for, which is mainly testing, but I enjoyed the talk and the chat and looking forward for the next time.
Of course. Join us anytime.
Thank you.
As far as everybody watching, guys, we do post these videos on YouTube the following week after the fact, so everybody can always watch it, video form, audio form, etc. We do host these live on Bearded Wolverine's Twitch channel. The link will be down below. So if you ever want to engage with us in the chat, please make sure you do so. For everybody that did tune into the chat, you guys are fucking awesome. Leave a GG in the comments and in the chat down below just to let us know that you made it this fucking far, because quite frankly, this is one of our longest ones. 235 is where we're at right now. We're about to cut this, but also we do post these as far as audio form in Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. But besides that, thank you so much, guys. We will see you next week. Peace. To the next one.
Peace.
Peace. Bye.
My computer just flipped the fuck out. Sorry.